I'm the digital pit boss. It's that real Pan-African shit. Back in the day, we got together to put together a plan to culturally and economically uplift black folks. Seems that lately that plan has went disarray. Some here, some there, everybody quoting Garvey. Have you ever heard Garvey speak? Do you really know the philosophies and the opinions of Marcus Garvey? Or are you taught by the conscious community? Well, we're going to get in it today. Today, you're going to hear from Marcus Garvey himself. Sit back. I'm your boy, DPB. All right. So what we're going to do today, we're going to hear from Marcus Garvey. What I want you to think about is the narrative they're sharing in the so-called conscious community today. We're going to go back and we're going to look and see, are they really repping that red, black, and green? Or are they simply floss flagging? See, there was a mission. And those that would pick the flag up was willing to fight for the mission. So let's take a listen to Marcus Garvey and find out what his opinions, his beliefs, his purpose of that mission was to be about. This is Marcus Garvey.
Of a suffering people, we are the descendants of a people determined to suffer no longer. Many men and women as black as I am, and even more so, had believed themselves white under the West Indian Order Society. I was simply an impossible man to use openly the term Negro, yet everyone beneath his breath was calling the black man a nigger. I had to decide whether to please my friends and be one of the black whites of Jamaica and be reasonably prosperous, or come out openly and help improve and protect the integrity of the black millions and suffer. I decided to do the latter. There is no future for people who deny their past. My foreparents, my grandparents, my mother, my father did not suffer and die to give me an education to slight, oppress, or discourage my people. Whatsoever education I acquired out of their sacrifice of over 300 years, I shall use for the salvation of the 400 million black people in the world. And the day when I forsake my people, may God Almighty say there shall be no more light for you. I unequivocally rejected the racist assumption of much white American Christianity, namely that God had created the black man inferior, that he had intended Negroes to be a servant class, used as wooden drawers of water. I predicated my view of man in the doctrine of imago Dei. All men, regardless of color, were created in the image of God. From this premise followed the equality of all men and the brotherhood of all men. The biblical injunction of Acts 17:26 reminds us that he created of one blood all nations of men to dwell on the face of the earth. I was most interested in brotherhood within his own race, because if Negroes are created in God's image and Negroes are black, then God must in some sense be black.
Great is the Lord and the company of him who established Zion and dirt. Cause your light to shine and justice sound, yeah.
If the white man has the idea of a white God, let him worship his God as he desires. We have found a new ideal. Because whilst our God has no color, and yet it is human to see everything through one's own spectacles, and since the white people have seen their God through their white spectacles, we have only now started to see our God through our own spectacles. We believe in the God of Ethiopia, the everlasting God, and we shall worship him through the spectacles of Ethiopia. Do you know what it is to be a man? To be a man is to bear resemblance of the Creator, the image of the Creator. If you are conscious of the fact that you are created in the image of the Creator, then you are a man. Man is a religious being. That is to say, you must have some kind of belief. Call it superstition or not. Some of us make our God the God of fire. Some of us make our God a God of water. Some of us make our God a God of elements. And others of us accept the Christian belief. Man's religion is something we cannot eliminate from his system or destroy in him. Therefore, it is folly for any man to go about attacking another man's religion, because to him it is fundamental. You may be a Christian, you may be a Mohammedan, that is your religion. We are entitled to our own religious beliefs. Some of us are Catholic, some of us are Baptists, some of us are Presbyterians, and we deem it a right to adhere to our own particular belief. The white world is always trying to rob and discredit us of our history. They tell us that Tutankhamun, the king of Egypt who reigned about the year 1350 BC, was not a black man, that the ancient civilization of Egypt and the pharaohs was not of our race. But that does not make the truth unreal. Every student of history of impartial mind knows that we once ruled the world. When white men were savages and barbarians living in caves, thousands of our professionals at that time taught in the universities of Alexandria, then the seat of learning. Ethiopia shall stretch forth her hands unto God, and princes shall come out of Egypt. No black man shall be truly respected until the race as a whole has emancipated itself through self-achievement and progress from universal prejudice. He has to build his own government, industry, art, science, literature, and culture before the world will stop to consider him. Until then, we are but wards of a superior race and civilization and the outcasts of a standard social system. Back in the days of slavery, race mixture and miscegenation had occurred because the African woman had no protection from the slave master. So there is no need today for black people to themselves freely continue a practice that smacks so much of slavery. One of our problems historically is that we've always been reacting to initiatives taken by other people. You cannot depend upon another race to free you. That is a basic law of human existence. If we must have justice, we must be strong. If we must be strong, we must come together. If we must come together, we can only do so through the system of organization.
Great is the Lord and the company of him who established Zion and dirt. Cause your light to shine and justice sound, yeah.
I came into the Caucasian culture at a time when the white man still had a need for the black man's labor. I preached and penetrated the mass black man's consciousness to such a degree that the white man felt threatened by me being capable of commanding so much black time and attention. Whites find it hard to sit idly by and let this black man take their slave labor away, especially back to Africa. Who then would bear the white man's burden? I feel that my blood shall pay that remission for which future generations of our race shall be declared free. Freedom of action, freedom of opportunity are things we need, which I believe can only be gained after we shall have established an imperial power to command the respect of other races and nations. Vile thoughts bring vile actions to vile people living in vile times. You could not tell me in the 1920s that 80 years later, the world would be infested with neutron bombs, AIDS, drugs, homelessness, terrorism, laser beams, and visible nuclear devastation. However, were I alive today, I would still recommend the same remedy for my people's upliftment. Self-esteem, self-respect, and self-reliance in a world gone crazy with individualism. I never taught racism, but rather dignity and pride in one's race. With God's dearest blessings, I leave you for a while. One love.
100 years ago, God, as it were, sent his big...
All right. A little rendition. Marcus Garvey. Now I'm gonna drop the link in a few. We're gonna see if somebody want to hit the link who think that they know of a different Garvey. If they know of a Garvey who didn't respect God. Because this conscious community bullshit is getting old and played out. They rep that red, black, and green as though they mean to unify. They say unify. There is such a thing called double speak in the conscious community, and the list is getting long with the words that they use. It ain't no real unity. You got one group of black people in America who have a disdain for a book so bad that they crank their face up when you mention it. They can't stand the fact that the old ancient mystery system of Kemet died, buried by the very people who are descendants of those who thought it up, the Kemetics themselves. The Kemetics started building churches in Africa. They got museums left in the wake. The red, black, and green flag has been hijacked and is now flown by people who hate the very group of people, ideology that thought it up. Let's take a look at the 1900 Pan-African Conference in London and see who these men were. And you tell me, are these the men claiming to be Kemetic and hating the Bible as they do today? So let me share my screen with you. Do a little teaching. Because apparently you can't get no pre-Garvey in the conscious community. Don't nobody want to drop it. We're going to start here. Says the Pan-African idea emerged in the late 19th century in response to the European colonization and exploitation of the African continent. Hold up. In 1895, they had such a thing called the Berlin Conference, where they got together and divided up Africa's riches. Now, here's the response to that movement. Not by necessarily those in Africa, but by descendants of those from Africa in America. They happened to have the conference in London, as it was a much safer place at the time to do so. So it says the Pan-African philosophy held that slavery and colonialism depended on an encouraged, negative, unfounded categorization of the race, culture, and values of African people. These distinctive beliefs in turn gave birth to the intensified form of racism, the likes of which Pan-Africans sought to eliminate. As the border political concept, Pan-Africanism's root lied in the collective experience of African descendants in the New World. Africa assumed greater significance for some Blacks in the New World for two primary reasons. First, the increasing fertility of their campaign for racial equality in the United States led some African Americans to demand voluntary reparations to Africa. Next, for the first time, the term Africans, which had often been used by racists as a derogatory description, became a source of pride for early Black nationalists. Understand, this group of people were nationalists. They had a nationalistic idea. But just the other day, we see a socialist scientific Pan-Africanist. That's called the reverb, the remix. Coming with the technique 1200s, backwards with the understanding. Let me skip down a little bit. Let's get into Henry Sylvester Williams, one of the faces on the page of the Fraternal Order of Pan-Africanism. In 1897, Henry Sylvester Williams, a West Indian barrister, formed the African Association in London, England, to encourage Pan-African unity, especially throughout the British colonies. Sylvester Williams, who had links with West African, believed that Africans and those of African descent living in the diaspora needed a forum to address their common problems. In 1900, Sylvester Williams organized the first Pan-African meeting in collaboration with several Black leaders representing various countries of the African diaspora. For the first time, opponents of colonialism and racism gathered for an international meeting. The conference, held in London, attracted global attention, placing the word Pan-African in the lexicon of international affairs and marketing. It's part of the standard vocabulary of Black intellectuals. The initial meeting featured 30 delegates, mainly from England and the West Indies, but attracted only few Africans and African Americans. Among them was the American leading intellectual W.E.B. Du Bois, who was to become the torchbearer of subsequent Pan-African conferences and congresses, as they later came to be called. Conferences participants read papers on a variety of topics, including the social, political, and economic condition of the Blacks in the diaspora. Now, W.D. Du Bois wasn't a nationalist, but he was there. He would go on to lead future conferences. He didn't become a true Pan-African till in his 60s. 5 years later, he would start the Niagara movement, full of atheists. He himself was an atheist. He was a real Black atheist at the time. But yet, he somehow is considered to be a Pan-African, but not a nationalist. But yet, Pan-Africanism is a nationalist perspective. Its root cause is to create a government. I wonder how he gets blended into the mix. We can go on about W.D. Du Bois, but I do that way too often. Let's skip down a little bit because I'm not going to read this whole thing. Let's back up. Back up. Now, let's watch how the blend comes in. It was not until after World War I that Du Bois revived in Congress following the war. Europeans and American politicians gathered forces in Versailles, France. Du Bois, who attracted the conference as a special representative of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP. Now, this is in 1920. It ain't gonna be long. Garvey is on the scene. Garvey is a nationalist. W.D. Du Bois is a Pan-Africanist. But look where the attention of this page is addressed. When you're not really familiar with the information involved in the sense of Pan-Africanism, you can be easily thrown by the boulets who write this shit. Reconfiguring the history. Everybody's so goddamn confused. All the information that's out there is skewed. Now, which one of y'all representing the Kemetic RBG is down for Garvey and his mission? I'm looking to find out. Because I see a lot of people claiming to be so cold. They dress up in the red, black, and green. They got on all types of shit. All kinds of shit. They look real official in the outfit. But when we got to get down to them hardcore facts, when we got to get down to the hardcore facts, history, they don't really know what the mission is. You can't get them to come on to a post and talk about the mission. It's too hard for them. Let me see if I can find my link. See if we can get down to the pinpoint plan. You got to have a 10-point plan. Because the Satanists had a 10-point plan. Okay. I'm looking around for it. Give it a minute. Ah, shit. What is all this shit? Where is my damn? Boy, I tell you. Let's see if we can get something out of this link. Y'all bear with me because I didn't have everything queued up. I kind of be flowing off the top of my head. And shit just start coming to me as I speak. And I'm trying to bring it what it needs to bring it. Should be easy. But it's not. Here we go. I think we got it. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I think I got it. But it ain't all the way in there. All right, all right. Oh yeah, they did some flip flop. Oh man, they do too much flip flopping on this shit. I can't even show y'all this because the shit is remixed. Oh, it's something serious about this paradigm because this information is all remixed online. I think I got something. Oh yeah. I guess I'm gonna have to make my own goddamn page and go back and get an exact copy. All right. What y'all got to say? Y'all want to get on the show? Anybody got some heat they want to drop? Y'all ain't got no heat you want to drop. Y'all just want Pit Boss to go in on them. I see y'all don't like support my page, so in a minute my goddamn website about to be ready and I'm gonna exit stage left. Y'all niggas could have this bullshit because I'm gonna fuck around and cock that motherfucking hammer on one of these niggas. So before we gotta take it there, I'm gonna drop this shit and go get to this money. Leave you niggas on YouTube. All right, we're gonna try this, but it's some old shady shit, but it's all good. This is what we got. The Constitution of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, right? Objects and aims, section 3. Let's blow it up a little bit. Let's see. Okay. So the object of the Universal Negro Improvement Association for the African Communities League shall be to establish a universal confraternity among the race, to promote the spirit and pride and love, to reclaim the fallen, to administer to the and assist the needy, to assist in civilizing the backward tribes of Africa. Now, who might the backward tribes of Africa be? That was part of the mission statement, to civilize the backward tribes of Africa, to assist in the development of the independent Negro nation and communities. Independent, irrespective of nationality. That's the Moors, the Hebrew Israelites, the Comedics, the Christians, all of them, everywhere, under every banner. That was part of the mission, the object and aims. All right, let's go a little further. This is where the flip-flop comes in, but it says to promote a conscientious spiritual worship among the native tribes of Africa, to establish universities, colleges, academies, and schools for the racial education and culture of the people, to conduct a worldwide commercial and industrial intercourse for the good of the people, to work for better conditions in all Negro communities. Now, that's not quite what is going on with those that's holding up the banner today. Instead, they've chosen to get on the attack. They got to wake y'all up because y'all sleep reading that Bible. Now, as you see, pit bulls go hard in the paint and get attacked by every goddamn nigga in the conscious community. They all trying to shut me down. They think I'm running by my goddamn self. But I'll be on that phone. I'm going to drop that link. Hit the link if you got some business you want to speak. I'm going to let you get it off. Haters and congratulators, whoever you might be. Do what you want to do. Get in where you fit in. What you got growing. What value can you add to the nonsense that's going on in this fake Black Power movement in 2017? What do you got to add to the value of the people? Because Pit Boston dropped 2,000 videos all over the place. I keep a nigga in my chat room, boy. I'm going to repeat who the conscious community is. The conscious community is YouTube channels putting out messages of self-destruction. That's the conscious community. If they ain't on YouTube, they somebody else. If you don't know who we mean when we say conscious community, you just agent ass nigga in a chat room on a daily basis. I'm gonna come on at 3 in the morning and see if your ass still in the chat room. Find out when do these agent niggas go to sleep. Niggas don't never sleep. Take your ass to sleep or hit the goddamn link. Y'all niggas will sit there and babble in the goddamn chat room for hours. Go ahead, Raw Vegan. Challenge me on the Bible and the STEM. Hit the link. I'll give you the mic. I let you go ahead and run your mouth off thinking you know some shit. Let's see if you got any videos on your channel. Since you want to challenge Pit Boss, you should have 1,000 videos on your shit. Laying down your thing. Look at what you got. 2 goddamn subscribers. I'm going to give you no option but to hit the link. No more agent shit. Hit the link. You want to speak? Hit the goddamn link. You ain't got no goddamn subscribers. And no videos talking about challenging some shit. Challenge that. Get your next troll account up. You need 4 or 5 troll accounts. I done blocked all the trolls. They hate watching when they can't be trolls. So apparently, everybody is spectating. Nobody really got nothing to say. I'm going to drop that link. If you hit the link, tell us what you think. We need to know. I should put my PayPal up. It's in the description box. I'm looking for a hot 100. I'm going to give y'all some music because y'all ain't participating. Where you at with it? When you gonna be about change? When you gonna stand up for righteousness? When you gonna stop playing the sucker role? I just take it you ain't ready. So we
What's
got
up with that boss?
What's up with your big hog?
What's up, Pitt?
What it do, big guy? What it do, man? Tell me about it. What's up?
Hey, bro, I'm still at this gym. Let me I'm gonna put the link back up. I'm about to roll out. I'm gonna get connected in my car and I'm gonna get right back with you. Cool.
Bet that up, man. You look like you pushing 500 over there.
We're gonna keep it, you know. We're gonna do what we do, brother. But hold on, I'm gonna get right back with you, man. Hit the thinking about 10 minutes.
That's what's up. All right, little T. You know, man, you've been on some way out type shit, little brother. What you got cracking?
I feel you, Pit Boss. I was wrong for what I was doing, man. But you gonna have critics, man.
I mean, speak your piece. Speak your speech.
All right. Now I ain't even with that comedic shit and all that. Now I've been looking up what you say about what this STEM is. If I'm not mistaken, does it not stand for science, technology, education, mathematics?
Yeah, that's close.
That's okay. Now that's cool. That's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, how can we take this STEM stuff and what Booker T and all what these people talked about in 1800, you know, and apply it to today?
I get off at about
the same way that the Asians do. They doing it right now.
But you got so many niggas, man, that just they so negative. I'm not gonna lie to niggas, just lie to niggas, and they don't be giving a fuck about this shit, man.
Well, I mean, what can I do? Because they don't care. I mean, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
How do you talk to them in a way to make them understand this what they fucking need?
I mean, I can't. They got their ears closed to the truth.
Well, I hear you, man. I hear you. And one more thing, Pitbull. I'm doing some things too. I'm not with all this YouTube, you know, I'm not big on YouTube and getting on it and, you know, making videos and all that and stuff like that. It just, cause like you said, you got to have a paradigm on what you're going to talk about and what you're going to do, you know, when you do this type of stuff, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of thinking on, you know, before you do even make some video, cause you don't want people even come on you on the wrong way. You know what I mean?
So tell me why you did the flip flop, my nigga. Why'd you know what I'm saying, get the smashing? What the hell would be wrong with you?
Man, because I'm tired of the division, man. I'm just, you know, ain't nothing wrong that you trying to black. Well, I'm just sick of it.
I ain't go smash them.
It's just too much division.
So why don't you go smash them that causing it? If division was here before Pitbull started doing videos. It was Kemetic versus Hebrew before I dropped the video. What you got to say about that?
I can't say nothing about that because you ain't lying. That's what it was. You right. When I got into it, they was doing it too. You know, when I got into this, man, I like the history, man. You know, I like to learn about, you know, World War II and Hitler type shit. You know what I mean? I like the history like a mother. And when I got up off that, I started learning about, you know, how, you know, we was fighting, you know, World War II too, black folks, you know, even African folks. I started learning about that. Then I started learning about, you know, about how they decolonized Africa. And I just started learning about my history, you know, like black people history. And it just got me caught up into it. But then when I started seeing, you know, the Sidnettas and these Kemetic brother and the Hebrew brother, it just, I was like, what is this shit, man? This shit don't make no sense. Cause I ain't never, never experienced. All I do was some preachers around the way and Muslim people. And probably a few, Black Power nigga, but I just thought that Black Power, I never knew Black Power had its own fucking religion like these, what they doing now. I never thought it was deep into this shit like they make it portray it is.
So what do you feel about the scam artists that come into the community running scams?
Now you're right. I don't like that. Cause I feel like this shit is supposed to help the people. We supposed to be giving people the information on how to better their lives and information to make their lives better. It's not, I don't feel like people should want support from people, the Black family. That's how I feel, man. Now you right, Pitbull. I feel like if you do this shit, you need to have some money. You need to have yourself, foundated, have a foundation or something that you have helped people with. You know what I mean? Like a company or something you can help people with, because if you can't really help people don't want to fucking listen to you. I feel that it's just how it is. But I feel like everybody has to say, you know what I mean? That's how I feel about it.
So then tell me who out there exposing the hypocrisy. Give me 3 names of the people that you witnessed in the conscious community that's exposing the lies.
Yeah, you doing it, Pit Boss. I can't lie. You one of them. You doing it. It's some other brothers. It's other people. The people that criticize them too, and let other people know that on how fucked they is. I say you, Israel Doctrine. Damn, it's some more motherfucking people I just can't. I say all the mother niggas like Yavin Bullets. I believe he just be trying to get views off them folks, man. But it seems like. It's some more motherfucker. I don't know their name because I ain't been listening to. I've been listening to you, man. You've been really the only really motherfucker I just really been listening to. And I apologize for this shit, man. I was just in a negative mode, man. I just get tired of hearing that same stuff, man. I was wrong for this shit.
Well, after I done sat on the phone with you, you know what I'm saying, and then, talk to you for hours upon goddamn hours at goddamn, you called me at 5 a.m, if you recall that. And I answered my goddamn phone, nigga laying in my bed. I do some shit like that and the nigga flip on me, I don't be wanting to hear it. Am I lying?
No, you ain't lying. That's real. That's just respect. I understand that. I can understand that.
So if you call me at 5 a.m. and I answer my phone to talk to you for another 2 hours, and then a month later you on some other shit, I'm gonna air you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, how far do I supposed to go? I'm just some dude on YouTube.
But give people the real information. Remember, like the little CPA stuff I told you about. Tell them people about this shit, man. Yeah, shit. Maybe them motherfuckers figure that shit out. Give them the real information. That's all I be saying.
It's all
people
good.
Don't want to hear about giving them goddamn me money, man. They want to know where the information to get the money. I'm just gonna be real with you.
Well, let me let my man to die. I think he back with us. I think he got some info he want to drop.
What it do, Pet?
What's up with your big homie?
Nothing. Sorry about that, bro. One of my little cousins was in the gym. I had to happen to catch him, man.
Well, as you
I
see,
got to chopping it up, man, so I missed that notification. I apologize.
Oh, it's all good.
Man, did you drop that? Did you drop that Garvey, bro?
Yeah, I let Garvey play for. It was like a little rendition, kind of like speaking some of his speech. And then the brother just added on as though it was current time. And you can check it out. It's like the first 10-15 minutes of the show. But yeah, so give me your opinion. I know you kind of watch the channel, here and there. What do you think about the information, the way I'm bringing it? You're either, your pros and your cons of what you're seeing going on in the community. I think we lost your sound. Okay, we still can't hear you there. You might have to drop out and come back in while we waiting on him. Come into the mix. All you spectators, don't feel bad. You know, you can hit the link. And all right, let me see. Is you back? I think something happened to his line. So yeah, what we trying to do is get some feedback from the chat rooms. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. We if you're back, brother, go ahead and speak. If your sound working. You might got to just drop out altogether and come back in the room. It usually will reset everything for you. Can you hear me? You can't hear me. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me, bro. I can't throw you out the room. You won't be able to get back in. So if you can hear me, just go out the room and then come back in, and your phone should readjust. He having some technical difficulties. So apparently we got a lot of viewers. We got a couple down likes on the video just for playing Garvey. We don't know who these people are. They just do what they do. Maybe it's just people that don't like DPB, go too hard, and they don't have no mercy on the comedic or the comedic view. When I really do. A damn show.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Pitbull.
What you talking about?
You keep talking about the comedics, which I look at it like this, because I can't tell nobody what to do. But I look at it like this. What I feel like y'all could do is you and the comedics and the Hebrew Israelites, these Moorish motherfuckers, these atheist motherfuckers, come to goddamn together and look at yourselves as motherfucking black people and look at it only like that. Forget all that other, belief systems and all that, because that's what get us all mixed up and jumbled up on loving each other. It's this religion background stuff, man. Just look at yourself as a black person.
Let me ask you something. When you came to my channel, did you realize I represent the Bible? Did you realize that? Huh?
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, you do. I understand that.
Okay. Well, let me go and hit you with this Bible real quick so you can understand that through this Bible, you taught to hold your goddamn lane, right? So let me share this with you since you ain't, I don't know what you follow, but, we're going to get to this Bible. So this is Matthew. Well, see, so you on some comedic shit. So naturally, you're going to feel that way. But the Bible starting in 25, it says, woe to you scribes and you Pharisees, hypocrites, for you make clean the outside of the cup of the platter, and within you are full of exhortation and excess. Thou blind Pharisees, clean first that which is within the cup and the platter, and the outside of them may be clean also. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites, for ye are like unto whitened spatulas, which indeed appear beautiful outward, and within full of dead men's bones of all uncleanliness. Even so ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrites and iniquity. Woe unto you, scribes and you Pharisees, hypocrites, because you build the tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous, and say, if we had been in the days of our father, we have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. Therefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are children of them which killed the prophets. Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers. You serpents, you generation of vipers, how can you escape the damnation of hell? See, now if you would have been standing there in front of Jesus Christ, you would have had the same shit to say to him. Why don't you just hook up with the Pharisees? Why you all this division? Because instead of coming on this shit to learn, since you don't teach, you should learn and understand why it goes down the way it goes down. They hate the Bible. How can you hook up with somebody when you following the Bible and they hate the Bible? the hell are you gonna hook up about?
You do know though, King James from England wrote it. Do you know how to speak Aramaic from Ethiopia?
Man, listen.
No, just yes or no.
I asked you a question. I got to eject you because you ain't keeping up with the show. I asked you a question you want to answer. Go ahead, dive, man. Let's move on with the show.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, probably real cool scripture right there, man. Most definitely, man. I lost my train of thought, man. Whatever reason it's like I got crossed up. I heard somebody else talking like I was actually on somebody else's live show. It's kind of crazy.
Oh.
But where we at right now, man? Basically, what I got picked is that there's a lot of pump faking. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of misinformation hustling going on for the sake, at the expense of the people, man. And I gotta agree with the other young brother that was on earlier saying that you putting out some genuine information. And this is the first time somebody, as far as you go, as far as I know, you're the only person that's stepped up and put up some genuine information. You know what I'm saying? That can actually serve the people and actually bring some credibility to the conscious community. All of a sudden consciousness has become all about Bible hating and running it and pretty much having the people chase their tail. And you know what I said to you offline, basically, man, that I think they took up this fight with the Bible so they don't have to deal with the real problems in the community. You know what I'm saying? If you read a lot of the slave narratives, the good majority of the slaves were being withheld from reading the Bible. Besides reading, period. There was a lot of slave owners that are healthy read the Bible.
That's
again because they have to play this narrative, this false narrative that somehow the Bible has enslaved our people. It wasn't the gun, it wasn't the chain, right? It wasn't the white man himself. It wasn't the black Africans that was in on the slave trade. It's called a slave trade for a reason, because it was slaves. It was blacks selling black slaves. That's what made it a slave trade. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not gonna sit here and play like the Bible didn't have some role in it, but man, it was minute by comparison to the whips, the chains, the guns, the fear tactics, the indoctrination. You know what I mean? It's small. It's small, man, and it's an argument so these Negroes don't got to really get in the real fight, man. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate what you're doing as far as enlightening me on Booker T and what real black power is. Because me knowing I'm a Hebrew and understanding the Bible as my book of sovereignty, and where I get my identity and my information from, you adding the Booker T paradigm has only enlightened me, and what it's done is really challenged the community, Pitt. It's really challenged the community. Say, you want to talk about a bunch of bullshit, or do you really want to go out there and do the necessary work for the next generation? And it's just like they talk about the Christians, but these Negroes protect these so-called new Kemetic pimp preachers just like the Christians do their false pastors. They do it they got the same spirit on them. They come up with the same arguments, the same protectionist pseudo statements to protect these same quasi pseudo niggas that's claiming every other bit of information is pseudo but their information. These Negroes are in the Margaret Sanger. They're in the Margaret Sanger basically genetic. What is it called? Eugenics, the genetics project, all of that.
Eugenics.
Thank you, brother. They're part of eugenics and all that. See, but they try to divorce themselves from that aspect of atheism, knowing that those two are married, those two are one and the same. Because the whole part of atheism is basically gets into what they call selective. Basically, what is it called? Selective breeding, but selective what is it called again, bro?
And the eugenics, selective breeding. Selective breeding,
and right. And so their whole paradigm is that blacks are basically we're pretty much irrelevant, and white people are the new breed. They're the new superior race. So how are you going to bring in atheism as a stance to be scientifically pliable for black reality? It's just not there, bro. It's just not there, man. So, and then another thing you're doing, I think overall what you're really doing is you challenging the Hebrews. Because this is a fight that the Hebrews were supposed to take up. They were supposed to take this type of stand. But the thing is, these brothers love skin color over the righteousness of Christ. They're willing to compromise the scriptures for blackness. Now, I'm for my people.
Damn it. My brother riding in his car, so he's getting some bad sound. I see another cat on the line. You coming in and out on us, bro. My man, whoever this is.
Right. We couldn't even do business if you don't have the moral character to keep your word.
Okay, you coming in and out on us. I think you got a bad signal over there. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right. Well, we have another cat on the line. You can speak if you know, say what you like to say. Some cat named Drew. I guess he ain't gonna speak. Okay, well, that's my partner, Adaya. Hopefully he'll get his signal back and he can come back on and finish dropping that heat. And in the meantime, I done dropped the link. I see my brother Black Ink, what you think, in the room going ham on the questions. We might even get the great Negroologist to hit the link. She might come on here and put some feminine energy in the mix. I'm trying to give y'all all a voice since y'all claim Pit Boss is bullying the comedics. I get a lot of haters right now. I got 4 or 5 on the line. That motherfucker. Think I'm gonna turn down. Turn down for what? But in the meantime, I'm gonna try to let everybody get their spec off. Can you hear me, brother? Die.
Yeah, I hear you, Pick. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you was driving, so I think you went through a little section where your signal went out on us. But you can continue if you want to finish.
Yeah, but basically what I said to you, brother, I think what you're doing, man, is, I mean, it's needed. And I believe that even some of these brothers, some of these listeners to the comedic information, they should have no problem with you or anybody in your vein or line of thinking have a problem with their information being challenged. They should welcome it. They should see it as a means to test and prove what they're being presented is right and correct. You know what I mean?
Now let me pose a few questions since you make that statement. This is going out to anybody following the comedic flow. So my claim is that y'all following the Aleister Crowley, Alice Bailey 10-point plan, Madame Blavatsky, L. Ron Hubbard, 9 ether, 11 ether, 666 element, melanin element charts. All that shit was spoken and talked about from white Satanists prior to the arrival of Dr. Ben. If I'm lying, do a video and expose that. Go in on the information so that you can bring some education and tell us why. Also, the comedics themselves, this is the other challenge. The Comedics themselves in the 1st century shut down the temples. They shut down the mystery systems and built churches. Now, prove that it wasn't them. Prove that it was some white folks building them churches in Africa. The red monastery, the white monastery, the catechisms where they taught all types of sciences and philosophies and the Bible. Prove that it wasn't the Comedics themselves teaching that. And they would have come here today and look at y'all and shake their head that y'all done lost y'all mind. Debunk that. Also, prove that the men that y'all claim W.D. Du Bois was a Pan-Africanist. Show us how he was. Just because he attended the event in 1900 don't make him a Pan-African. Your actions will let us know what you are. He fought against the Pan-African machine. There's a few of them quotes that y'all can go ahead and run that. Prove that. That's my charge against the Comedic community. Anybody can do a video. Now, before I let my brother die finish, it's a cat named Drew on the line. If you want to say something, I'm gonna let you speak. If you ain't speaking,
I'm here, bros. I had to switch computers.
Oh, no sweat, no sweat. What the mic is yours, brother. Go ahead and
speak hey, I'm rolling with you, brother. You know what I'm saying? I just had talked to Carl the other day on his show. You know, we was going back and forth about Sabbath. Me and my wife, you know, basically my family follows the Hebraic faith. I'm from Virginia.
Okay.
So, you know, when my mother was becoming an ordained minister, you know what I'm saying, I came across this information before, you know, about the black history and culture between Egypt and Israel, you know what I'm saying, before. And I'm from Norfolk, you know, I'm from Virginia. You know, that's black history here is a real big thing.
Right. That's where it all damn near started.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we got like texts and books and certain information that other states just don't have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just like other states might have some history or whatever that we not, you know what I'm saying, privy to having, you know what I'm saying, the root or the source of that information. Now, you know, the Comedics banging on the Bible and so forth like that, like, you know, I watched that over the years, you know, and already having information about, you know, both cultures and so forth. I decided, me and my wife, you know, we decided to go ahead and, you know, bridge that gap, man, because it's a lot of unnecessary. Like, the main issue I have with Kim is the same thing you have. They scoffing at the Bible. So nowhere in Kemet history was there, like, did they do that? You know what I'm saying? Egypt didn't care what God you worship. It wasn't, you couldn't worship who you want to worship when you was in Egypt. That's why we went there. Got it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that shouldn't be an issue that we go by the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Any of you talking about what the scriptures actually tell you to do. It's about peace. It's about having peace in your life, bro. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people turn to the scriptures because they ain't had no peace in their life and they needed some peace. They need to get off these streets. They need to stop doing bad things. They need that motivation and that reason.
Now, let me just say something to you real quick and you can finish. You make a good point, and this is the reason why I charge them with they're not following Kemet. See, when you go to the temples that they set up in the 80s, you can go to their websites and find the protocols of what they're teaching. No one is teaching any real documentation of a mystery system that was 2,000 years ago. They have made a conglomerate of information and put a stamp on it that information is Kemetic teaching, and they're resurrecting an old system. This is why I say what they're really following is Wicca. What they really following is white Satanism. That's why my previous video was labeled Black Satanism Satanism in blackface.
I read the same books you read, bro, about the whole Aleister Crowley and Alice Bailey. You know what I'm saying? Albert Pike, all the things that, you know what I'm saying, with all that, how that stuff is linked into each other. I done read and seen the same things.
And don't you find similarities between what you read in those books and what you hear coming out their mouth.
Exactly. It's all about do what thou wilt. You know, that was basically Aleister Crowley's whole moniker. Do what thou wilt. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. No.
Exactly. So, I mean, I appreciate you for coming on here because, you know, a lot of people come on my channel and then they go and invade your YouTube channel because you appeared here. Because I go so hard, you know what I mean? And a lot of them think that I'm riding by myself because, you know, I come on mainly by myself. But I get the calls all the time. Huh?
Oh, no, brother, you got backup.
That's what I'm saying, man. I appreciate that because, you know, I really don't shit. I'll admit to that. But I don't really throw out no threats. I don't be like, oh, I'm going to come over here and do something to them or do something to them. I just go in on the information because it's such an easy target. Exactly. And because
just know the source of the information and build up the credentials. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's all you can really do.
Right. And see, the biggest point is for those like you yourself, you know, you've spoken to us in ways where you've already expressed, you've studied various materials, so you have some discernment. You see what I'm saying? But it's some people who, you know, they kind of young and all of this shit is attractive. And there you listen to all these YouTube channels and they start to believe things because they think what one of these guys say is absolute truth. So if they don't have a balance or someone to counteract that message so they can contrast the difference, they fall victim. And before long, they come home and start cussing their grandmama out because she got the white Jesus on the wall or something.
Yeah, they don't understand. They approach is really broken up and cause like division in households.
Real talk.
You know what I'm saying? Same thing with them Hebrews. I follow the Hebrew faith, but I don't rock with that one West.
I feel you. I feel you. I mean, everybody got a different spin within the Bible culture, but at the end of the day, there's thousands of things that they gonna at least agree upon. You feel me? They all gonna agree, at least if they follow in Old and New Testament, they gonna all agree that the God of Moses, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, that's the God they follow. They might have different views, but they following that God. Even Islam acknowledges the God of Moses. You feel me? Abraham, they acknowledge that God. They got their little spin, but they still acknowledging that God, that one God in that book and in those literatures. But then we got a whole separate group who instead of saying, well, we don't acknowledge that God, but we're gonna go over here and we're gonna do something among ourselves to be productive. They don't do that. They don't say, well, okay, we're gonna go in the corner and be productive. They go in the corner and then throw dirt rocks back at you.
Yeah.
Based on God you follow. And you know, those that follow the Bible outnumber them 50 to 1, maybe 130 to 1 or some ridiculous number. But more people follow this Bible than follow that Kemetic teaching. And that's
but you know what? I appreciate Kimmy, you know what I'm saying, in the aspect of like the scriptures say, you know, they walk in prophecy to me. So you know, the scripture said we was gonna have these people around, but they also, you know, they'll test you. You know, you have to answer questions, and they didn't have me answer questions that I hadn't even thought to answer before, but I see it was important because non-believers to me is when they sit there and say they don't believe because they don't understand it. So I was like, oh, so if you understood the scriptures, would you believe it then?
And they just say that as just a tactic because they knew the scriptures before they knew that Kemetic teaching.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, just because you couldn't figure it out or you didn't know it, don't mean that nobody else can or has or does.
So how long have you been? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, and if I just piggyback on what y'all kind of speaking on, I just would like to add, you know, submit another idea in this about this whole fallacy that the Bible is somehow enslaved black people. And like I said earlier, is there some validity that the scripture was used, certain components of the scriptures that was taken out of content and context was taken out of scripture? Especially when Paul said, he said, servants obey your masters and the master be good to your servants. They don't have no idea of Hebrew culture. They don't understand that these were domesticated, self-willed people who submitted themselves under pretty much under servitude for a certain time for up to 7 years. But if you read the scripture, Paul said also, man stealers, which were enslavers of men, shall be found in basically guilty before the throne of God. So an enslaver of a man was guilty. See, and what's going on is that they misapply scriptures, and they don't understand that a slave in Hebrew, there wasn't even no such thing as slaves in the Hebrew community. They were called servants. This would be no more than a servant, somebody who the Kardashians would hire and basically send them as they go, right? And they were pretty much went in the indentured servitude. I just want to give an example of how these people take and misapply and twist the scriptures in order to validate their argument. And the sad part is that none of these biblical scholars that shoulder and shoulder with some of these men that are right there in their face either are inadequate to explain these things, or they wish not to do it just to be a part of this debacle. You know what I'm saying? This thing that's going on. And a lot of these things could be easily explained. But the point I want to make is that white supremacy uses each and everything to keep the institution of white supremacy enacted. And that's why we understand in the compensatory codes that white supremacy in itself is the world religion, not Christianity. Because white supremacy uses food to kill black people. It uses water to kill black people. It uses media to destroy black people. It doesn't use one thing. It uses everything. And it's usually the black man's biggest weaknesses, whether it be his own women, his lust, his appetite. That's what white supremacy uses, is the inferior thinking of black men that don't have the moral character, that don't have the mental and the spiritual fortitude to resist white supremacy and its machinations and its devices. See, they don't understand. The Bible can give you that fortitude to resist because it tells you that sin is your biggest enemy. Transgression against the Bible, against moral laws, is your biggest enemy, not the white man. The white man is only a byproduct of our weakness. You can go all the way back. They want to see, and that's the thing, they don't want to get in the real fight pit. They don't want to deal with the black mentality that has been come out of slavery. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, that's real spit. And go ahead, Drew, if you want to speak.
Yeah, I think the main problem, man, is we in a microwave society. You know what I'm saying? There's no patience. Everybody want something, you know what I'm saying, right then and there. They want immediate understanding, not realizing that these things take time to understand. You know what I'm saying? Bible ain't, I always say the Bible is not something you read, it's something you study. You know,
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you have a lot of people who read it, but so many people who don't study it. And that's the problem. So when you talk to somebody who actually studies it, you know what I'm saying, and they start answering questions, it's like, well, this is not the basic information or the basic answers that I normally get, which is usually a I don't know or some other type of explanation to compensate, not just saying I don't know. I'm gonna have to study that. Let me get back to you. You know what I'm saying? Let me do some research on that. These are words that's not usually used in the conscious community. It's like everything is already known. You know what I'm saying? There's like no room for discovery. You know what I'm saying? The arguments, I was looking at these things they call contradictions of the Bible, right? And here's a list made by this group called skeptic.org or something like that, right? And it's like 106 contradictions of the Old Testament, 194 contradictions of the New Testament, right? And so, you know what I'm saying? So they wrote these things out, right? And say all these things are contradictions, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll line up like a verse, take a verse and then put it with another verse and say, see how these two things don't say the same thing. And I'm just like, okay. The verses were like cherry picked and so forth, but also none of those outside contradictions, not like questions outside of that list. I have yet to run across somebody posting or saying that this is a contradiction that isn't on that list. Now, that whole list has been refuted. So it's sort of like this could go at an endless cycle. You could just post the contradiction, I could post the answer, and you'd be like, well, no, that's not what this says. And I'm like, well, yeah, because you're not quoting it right. You know?
Right.
You quoting it wrong already because you're going by what somebody told you it said instead of studying to see what it says for yourself. Like I always tell people, you know, count your change before you leave the store. Like when you go to the store and you buy an item, you got a $50 bill you about to break. You know, your items came up to $20. The cashier give you your change back. You gonna count out to make sure you got $30 change before you put it in your pocket. You just don't grab the handful of change that she got, you know what I'm saying, and gave you and just put it in your pocket. Even if she counted it out in front of you, they count it again. Even when you go to the bank before they give you that money, that teller gonna count that money like 3 or 4 times. You know what I'm saying? That's called double checking. A lot of people got that microwave mentality. You read something once and it didn't make sense. So what? Sometimes you got to read something like 3 or 4 times before it makes sense to you. Before you're like, oh, okay, that's what that means. Everybody done said that at one point in their life.
Now, being that the fact that this attack been going on since Dr. Ben, and then it's become more aggressive and more aggressive and more aggressive with every wave of Kemetic teaching. It was kind of soft back in the 80s and the 70s. The 90s, it got a little more intense. 2000 started to getting out of control. And then with the advent of YouTube and this new wave of YouTube superstars, this shit is just outrageously out of control. So now, if somebody don't step up and challenge it, since there was a time you might see a little debate between Tazariak and Polite and, whatever they might talk about. But apparently their channels are not growing as fast as this Kemetic channels, I call them. They get more popular. They get all the views. Right now you got Young Pharaoh, Sarah Sudan Seti, Sadnetta TV, and Black Magic 363 is like popular channels. And so the message that they all collectively bring in and the content that they bring in, they all disagree with the Bible.
Because nobody's answering their questions. Like, you got a lot of, it's too much. To me, it's always been too much running. Like, when you go to the church and so forth like that, like how many times did the pastor answer questions from his followers? You know what I'm saying, from his ministry, you know what I'm saying, from the people that come to see him minister. How often does he do that? So when they come with these questions and then they ask other people and the other people don't know and they say it's a contradiction, they can't refute it because they don't have the information. All they have is faith. And it's like at some point you're gonna have to explain. Or you just gonna watch people fall by the wayside because you had faith, but you couldn't explain the faith. And 1 Peter 3:15 says that we are to be invariably prepared to give a reasoned argument to anybody who asks why you believe as you do. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but in the gist of you're supposed to be able to give a reasoned argument and explain it. And a lot of people are missing it. They have the faith. They have faith, but no scholarship.
And then can I add, Pitt? And one thing that, and this for the listening audience, really, just for those who may be on the fence, those who may be kind of enticed by this whole anti-Bible propaganda. Most people don't recognize not only is the Bible the foundation of this Democrat's legal system, it is also the foundation of the 19th and 20th century medical system. Most Africans and Europeans just barely came to the knowledge of quarantining people when they caught a disease, not allowing blood to touch you, sexual diseases. All of that can be found in the Torah, in the instructions. It's a medical book on how human beings should interact with one another and then remove themselves from others who have been infected spiritually and physically in order that it will not affect the whole community. So lots of times they get in this argument and say how violent the God of the Bible is, right? But they don't understand people can be infected on a spiritual level, mentally. This is why the children of Israel was told not to make peace with certain people, tongues, and nations, and tribes and nations, because he knew it would affect them on a moral level. And it will cause them to do things that are not only disobey him, but it will be against their own health and benefit. And they don't understand that. The Bible is the first book that told black people not to shit where you sleep, to go outside of the camp. Make sure not only did you have a sword, but you had a shovel. They just discovered that in the 19th century, in the First and Second World War. That's why they gave shovels to the soldiers. But this information is over 6,000 years old, that the so-called white man is just now in the last 100 years come to understand. And what it does, it validates the Bible. Again, the diseases that has been, a lot of these diseases that have come about in the 18th, 19th, even 16th century has come from men laying down with animals and bestiality. That's recorded. But then we find out that medically, the Bible had a reason for saying these things.
Yup.
But we won't. But God didn't spell it out after He just said obey. But we lots of times we find out why we shouldn't do it once the results are here. Then you learn the lesson. But these Negroes want to teach us and tell us to turn away from that, and all they can offer us is a bunch of trinkets and idols to put on our mantle. Burn incense.
So what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask both of you a question, and you can answer it first, Sadai, if you like. What do you feel about the number of scams that have entered in? I mean, the scams alone have caused a lot of havoc. I can go through a list of them if you need them. That they had this Acadian water, the fix your status correction. They've come out with all kinds of little events and various things where they took your money, gave you bad audio, bad visuals, or you buy a ticket, they don't have the event. It's just scam after scam. I haven't seen any institutions built inside the community that's been effective.
Let me say this. Did you want to answer the question first, brother?
No, you can go ahead, brother.
Let me say this, Pete. After all when we went through the so-called Kemet on trial, the Polite and then Tazariak debate, and we talked about the master teachers and all of this stuff when I kind of got introduced into the conscious community. And pretty much the two main master teachers, Henry Clark, and of course those others that came from Dr. Ben Yochanan, that came from that kind of branched out of them. It amazed me when I found out that this man was buried in a church. This man's funeral, his procession was held in a church. I thought that was very ironic, right? And I'm going somewhere with this, Pitt. I thought that was ironic. It just goes to show that these men really have nothing to offer. Because if they felt that vehement against the Bible, they should have never let their master teacher even step foot into a Christian sanctuary. It shows the bullshit they're on. It shows the contradiction in their logic. You know, for them to hold a Black Power Award at a Black Christian facility, it shows the contradiction. It shows they really have nothing to offer their community other than a bunch of vain words. And they have institutionalized the means in a way. Let me say this straight up. They're snake oil salesmen, Pitt. They're snake oil salesmen. That's all they are. That's all there's no more I can really say about them, because there's nothing you really get in return other than more of the same bullshit. That's all they can offer you. And where a lot of these people finish going around this Kemetic mountain and come to find out and come to the realization, what good has this really done me? I've gone to a lot of lectures. I've gone to the debates. And out of it, what have I really learned? Nothing that I couldn't have learned if I picked up a book by myself. All these men are basically doing is doing the work that any individual black man and woman can do if they're just willing to pick up a book. That's it. I'm good, bro. Let me say this, and bro, you ain't alone. Let me say this, man. You ain't alone, brother. You know that already. You know what's up. So all that other rah-rah, we're gonna stay on the positive note, man, because we grown, we men, and all of that, and all that, you know, all that talk. You know what I mean? I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even bro, that's just all that talk, you know. It's just talk until it's something else.
Yeah, I figured that's all they do. But you know, that's what you get from the conscious community is nonsense. And they upset if you expose them in any kind of way. Now, if I'm not mistaken, every day they come on, they banging on the Bible. They say they banging on the beast. But the reality is they banging on that Bible. And they not banging on the Bible that white folks is following the Bible. They upset that black folks is following the Bible. What is the purpose of being a Kemetic and worrying about what another black man religion is that makes you have to come on and bang on theirs more than you talk about your own? Where do they do that at? You can answer that, Drew.
Well, this comes from them, you know what I'm saying? I say a lot of things is lost in translation. And because we live in the microwave society where if you don't get it in the first 5 minutes, if you don't understand it, then it's a lie or it's not true. You know what I'm saying? The things take longer than that to understand. You know, people have to go to college like for 8 years before you get a bachelor's degree. Now, me and my wife both have bachelor's degrees in business management. And harkening back to your first question when you were asking about all the scams going on in the conscious community, that is the reason, because you have a lot of people conducting business that have never been to business school or don't have degrees or have graduated from college to have business degrees. They don't have any bachelor's degrees. a lot of guys to do this. So of course the business that they do is going to be janky.
Well, that's all I've seen. I haven't seen any real good plans that they present. I mean, you know, if I come out and expose something, it's like I get attacked so much because, you know, they say I'm a bully. But then after I talk about it and say what I got to say, the end result is shit. He was right. I don't get.
Well, I got a lot of things, man, that I want to put out to our people because, you know what I'm saying, I hear you talk a lot about economics and finance and stuff. And like I said, me and my wife both have bachelor degrees in business management. So we'd be more than happy to help you along with that, man. It's a lot of key secrets and things that I'm privy to that I just want to let you go ahead and just use your platform to spread the information.
Well, what I would like to do with that then is, I don't know if you had an opportunity to check out dpbstudio.com.
Yeah. My wife already told you, and my wife had a conversation already about that.
Oh yeah, she pretty deep. She hold her ground too. You talk about D?
Yeah, that's my wife.
Oh yeah. She told me about you. Okay, yeah. She go pretty hard. She wasn't easy to I mean, she knew what she wanted to talk about. You know, so that's cool. So I did tell her a little bit about the site. So it's almost ready. And like when you join it, you're going to have a section where you can bring out your info, and then we could share it as well as promote. Like if you have a product or something, we can promote it and sell it from you, because I'm going to market the hell out the site. So whatever's on there is going to get a lot of light, and you will see the marketing as the days go on at how fast and popular the site becomes. I heard a few YouTube channels say that, you know, it wasn't going to be successful because they thought I was just going to market it to the conscious community. But I wasn't even thinking about the conscious community in the aspect of marketing, because on a whole, the conscious community isn't big enough to support any specific kind of business in totality. So you have to be always, you know, looking to go beyond the conscious community if you plan to be successful. It's not enough people in there to support. Even if they wanted to support you, it's just not enough of them to do so. So, you know, I would be interested in hearing more about some of the models that you have, because I have several systems that we integrating into the website that we could you know, get together and make some of that available. And let me ask you a question, because I'm gonna make sure I was thinking about the right person. Was it your wife that said she had like a catalog, a whole catalog of like Hebrew literature or information? Okay, I know exactly.
Got like 2,500 files.
Okay, well, I definitely need to hit her back up or hit you up and get both y'all how we need to do it, and show you ways that we could present that and get it to the people. I know
you can just shoot me an email on Facebook, man. Drew Grandison, you know what I'm saying, on Facebook, and you know what I'm saying, you shoot me your email requesting that, and I just send you the file. A lot of stuff is in there, like the Balfour Declaration. You know, we have lexicons and interlinear Bibles, statements and quotes. You know, all the changes that they've made through the scriptures throughout the year that has been documented. And that's all us, you know, that's what I do. You know, me and my wife, we like Indiana Jones and Laura Croft, son. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, we make sure I get out of it and get with you.
I collect scriptures. So like one of my main possessions right now, I got a 1537 Matthew's Bible.
Oh, really? Now, how long did it take you to compile your data?
Oh man, this is years, and I had stuff passed down to me. You know what I'm saying? My mother, I told you, well, I'm in my 40s. You know what I'm saying? I'm a retired Army vet. And you know what I'm saying? My mother is in her 70s. You know, she's an ordained minister, so she passed a lot of stuff down to me. My great grandmother lived to be 101 years old, so she was able to pass down, and she was able to actually keep her sanity. She never suffered from Alzheimer's or anything like that. So
now let me ask you another question. This is in regards to the state of Virginia. I had a friend that was living out there a long time ago, and they had mentioned a festival that they recreate something about the slave ships. Are you familiar with what, I don't know what it's called, but are you familiar with something along that line?
Yeah.
What is that? Or what is that about?
It's well, I stay probably like about 10 minutes away from like where the boat, about 10-15 minutes away from where the boats actually docked at. That brought the slaves, you know what I'm saying, when the slaves got off, like the first beaches, you know what I'm saying, they walked down on. You know what I'm saying? That's around here. And what they do is they just basically go over the history and so forth of the things and events that happened. And I can tell you right now, I got a copy of the Slave Manifest. So the slave, if you are a descendant of a slave, you are a Hebrew. I don't care what nobody say. Yeah, I got a copy of this. I got a copy of the Slave Manifest. And every last name on that Slave Manifest has a Hebrew name on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet my man that just got off, he gonna want that.
Yeah.
A few of them in the room. I see we got a nice group watching. I know it's a couple of comedics. Y'all go ahead and hit the line. Pit ain't gonna go off on y'all today. I'm gonna let y'all get your piece out. And you know, if y'all got the balls to come on here and face the music and explain to us why the comedic narrative is not mimicking Alice Bailey, Aleister Crowley, and the likes. As you see my brother on the line now say, I don't know if it's some of them type of documents. I did share some links, but you got some of them documents and any of that info, or is it mainly pertaining more so to the Bible?
I collect Black history.
Okay, I got you. Okay. Uh-oh, we got a superstar guest on the line. She might drop some heat. Uh-oh, she ain't speaking yet. She working her mic out. Go ahead, Drew, if you wanted to finish up, whatever, if you had something else you want to add.
It's just about, you know what I'm saying, like I said, the main thing I'm focusing on right now is putting together a business plan. And it consists of, well, first I want to sit there and really tell people how credit works real quick. So if you got a pen and paper or whatever, or you want to mark this at the time, or wherever we is in this video, pay attention real quick. Let me just give you a real quick while we waiting for everybody else to get situated. I'm just going to put this info out there because it's real important.
Okay.
All right. It's how you build your credit. Okay, this is how you get credit points added to your credit score. My daughter would be yelling right now. Hey, could you? All right, this is how you do it. It's called, we do secured loans. Now, a lot of people will sit there and say, you know, you get a loan from someone, or you buy some jewelry, or you get something like that to build your credit. When the fastest way to do it is actually to loan the bank money. Now, let's say we sit there and give the bank $100, right? We're gonna do a secured loan. We told the bank we're gonna do a secured loan. We can give you $100. Each week, the bank will put like $25 back in your account. You'll do it over like 30 days. So week one, they'll put $25 back in your account. Now you won't have access to it till all the money is back in the account. But on week two, you know, after 2 weeks in, it'll be $50 back in your account. And when you get to week four, when $100 is back, the whole complete $100 is back in your account, you'll have access to it. So you got that money back. So you loaned the bank money and you loaned the bank $100, you got $100 back whole. Now, normally when you do a loan, there's interest that is applied to that. And what the bank, now, if you would have got like $100 loan from the bank, you would have probably had to pay back like $120, $130 like that, depending on the interest rate, right? Well, the bank has to do the same thing. But what they do, instead of giving you extra money back, is what they do is they give you credit points. And they report these credit points to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, all three branches of the credit bureau. So if you just sit there and say, like, I'm getting back 10 points a month, I just sit there and just let that $100 ride, that's 120 credit points in a year. You can go from a 500 credit score to a 620, from a 620 to a 740. And this is how wealthy people keep their credit up, because it's not about money. See, it's not about accumulation money, because credit will take you further than money will. If you have $1 million with a 520 credit score compared to have $1 million with a 720 credit score, money, and you're going to have access to even more money. With the 520 credit score, you're paying higher interest rates, higher APRs, and so forth. 720, you can get even more money financed to you with zero down.
Mm-hmm. That's real
So
talk.
this is how, so this is how you can sit and go into a car lot and not really having the money, but walk off the lot with a brand new car, no money down. Because you have good credit. So the fastest way to build your credit is you have to loan the bank money. If the bank gives you back money, they're going to give you back the same amount. However, all the interest that occurs from you loaning that bank money is going to go towards your credit. So this is how you build credit. And I always say the credit is more important than the dollars.
That's what's happening, brother. I appreciate that. Okay, so let me get over here to Black Becky. Black Becky.
Real quick. I want to let y'all know real quick. This is privy information. My wife had a friend that worked at the bank for 10 years that didn't have this information. I came across this information, but just rubbing right elbows with the right people. But she didn't even know. We told her about this, and they, she said that no, that's not true, and so forth like that. So then she talked to the bank president that she works for. She talked to her bank president, and he told her, yeah, you can do that. Do you want to do it? And she had worked there for 10 years and didn't know that. And she was a teller. So, this is not something that you're going to ask the teller to do for you. You're going to set up a meeting to do business, or you're going to set up with a sales rep and tell them you want to do a secured loan. This is not something that you're going to ask the teller.
That's right. Well, that's heat. People, if y'all don't believe him, go do your research. And if the brother telling the truth, y'all should definitely connect with him. If you want to connect with him, just hit me up, 99lightyears@gmail.com. I'll make sure you get to the
Navy Federal, Bank of America. Navy Federal and Bank of America, I know do it for sure.
Okay. Well, let me get over here and let the next guest speak a little bit since they've been waiting patiently. We got Black Beck the Tech. You want to unmute your mic? And I think we had Black Ink on earlier. He might be coming back. What's up with you, Black Becky?
Hey, Pitt. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What it do with you?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Peace to the chat. Everyone listening. I couldn't help it. I had to hit the link. Black Ink said, hit the link. Tell me what you think. So that's what time it is.
Black Ink got you on the link. All right. Well, we glad to have you in the house.
Well,
so go and tell us what's
going on. It's been too long. I haven't been live in so long. I didn't know what to do when I hit the link. I'm gonna hit my camera just so that my internet is okay. Here are my thoughts on what's been shared so far during the conversation. Just to give a little background, I've been kind of in the background, building, connecting with other CRTs, doing what we have to do to show, improve, and to be Black, which means to benefit from our learning by applying the knowledge we've obtained. Now, Pitt, I want to go ahead and document the fact that you have allowed me to be Black. You've allowed me to apply my knowledge, and the team that we're building right now by working on the website. We're learning coding. My daughter's enthusiastic about mobile development, mobile apps. We're back on the site. There's maybe about 4 or 5 of us right now back on the site, just applying knowledge and being Black. And we want Black power, BLAK power, which is taking control of our economic environment. And the way we do that is by building together with like-minded people. That is so important for us to emphasize. I became aware of, let's just say, this collective group about a year ago, where I started clicking on various channels, and there's a lot of information out. Because I'm a student, I got to learning and researching and trying to figure out, which way was up. So I understand that the information is out there. But what is alarming to me is something that you guys have pointed out earlier, and that is the attack on Christians, or the attack on the Bible. And I'm not quite clear why. Well, I'm very clear, but if we're going to go off of the narrative that's going, I'm not clear on why it's so relevant that the attacks must be initiated. And it's discouraging to someone like me. I'm 1 year in. A lot of the people that I'm hearing from have been doing this 10, 15, 20 years. So as a YouTube viewer, observer, or whatnot, I just want to say thank you for your channel, because of all the channels, and I've been through all of them. I'm not going to say that they don't try to reach out to people, but the message isn't as clear as your message, which is to take control of your economic environment by linking up with like-minded people when it comes to the business, when it comes to handling your business. And that's what we're doing. I just wanted to take an opportunity to say thank you, my children, thank you, the team of youth that we are building right now, growing, showing them that there's another way. We can get on these computers. We can go digital, baby, drive them all crazy. Just wanted to give my 2 cents.
I just want to know, is anybody forcing you to say this stuff?
Forcing me to say what? Hold on, wait a minute. Forcing me to say what?
No, I'm just saying, it sounds so good. It sounds so good. I just want to make sure ain't nobody over there forcing you, forcing you to say it.
Ain't no guns
Hey,
to my
Becky.
head.
Hey, Becky, did he pay you?
This is real shit. It is what it is.
Black Becky, did he pay you for this shit?
Absolutely nothing. I am an intern. I volunteer all of my time. My child, she volunteers her time. The team that we're building, we volunteer our time because we believe in what he's saying. It's common sense. It's common sense. Now, we are dealing with the Bible. I think that it's commendable that he's one of maybe the only person really that I could think of on his particular square that is just not bending. He's not going anywhere. And all my studies, I said I've been studying for about a year. Everything is leading me to continue my studies in the Bible. And Pitt's saying, look, let that happen for people like myself a year ago, coming brand new into this information. Let it happen on their own accord, instead of trying to push people into a paradigm that, as far as I'm concerned, through my research to this point, I'm watching the behaviors. It says, you'll know a tree by its fruit. If I go and talk to an apple tree and I say, well, tree, what are you? And it says, well, I'm an orange tree. You're a lie. I see apples. I see apples. So why are you saying that you're an orange? I digress.
We'll
Hey,
go
Pitt.
in. Yes, sir.
Much respect for letting me get in on the Hit the Link show. For today's topic, I just have 3 quick questions, though, and they are as follows. In the title, it says Marcus Garvey slays the conscious community. So back to the topic at hand. Number 1 question is, what was Marcus Garvey's philosophy and opinions on his religious beliefs, how he practiced it? Number 2, bust down the RBG in both symbol as a flag and the substance behind it, please. And number 3, could you let Marcus Garvey tell that in his own words? I'm going to get off the line and get back in the chat with these clowns and these bozos and see what it do like that. Peace out, Pitt Boss.
Pitt, real quick before you answer that question, I got to get back in the lab. I got some young folks coming here into the office. We got to do what we're doing. I just wanted to stop in real quick, take a break. It's been a while since I've been on. Just wanted to say hello to everyone, show my face, let it be seen, and say what I have to say about it, because it's been brewing for a little bit here. So you're not alone. You know that, but it's documented now. Facts. Peace.
Oh, we appreciate Black Becky the Techie. Been on the line since the new year started. Trust me, when we hit y'all with the real, y'all gonna love it. We've been back here working harder than you can imagine with a little bit of support, whole lot of love from those who show the love, and they know who they are, and y'all know what it is. Now, Mr. Black Ink always jumps in and drops some heavy questions, right? So he wants to know, from the words of Marcus Garvey, his opinions and his philosophies. I believe in the aspect of what he thought about, dealing with the races. Oh, I see we got Lex Vortex. Before I hit you, Lex, let me just read a little bit to answer the brother question real quick. and then everybody could get the mic. So here we are in the book. Let me make sure what page I'm on here. I'm on 17. So I just want y'all to see the title. This is a PDF file of the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. If y'all would like, I'll drop the link if you don't have this. And if you don't have the book itself, you know, there's a PDF online. You could type that in, the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. And, you know, it's pretty thick. It's covering a lot of different subjects as he goes in on this particular one. And, you know, in specific, you know, it's all kind of places in this book I could go, but I think I kind of landed here, right? And so I just want to read a little quick face from out the book. It says, a race that was 10 million 50 years ago is today 60 million. A race that is 30 million 50 years ago is today 90 million. How will they be tomorrow? And the world is not growing larger. What will happen when the multiplications of all these various races, groups, and those who are in power and those who are strong, those who have been in their command and forces of nature through which they can exploit the weak and ultimately exterminate them? What will happen to you, the weak and the unprepared, when the strong become the more numerous, even though the world remains at its present size? If you were but to think the future and compare the possibilities of the future with the happenings of the past, you will come to the conclusion that there is no salvation for the Negro but through the free and independent Africa. While it's geographically speaking, the world has never been more naturally division as we know it and see it, yet politically speaking, the world has changed and still changing. Yesterday, we had the Roman Empire, and we had the Grecian Empire, and we had even before the Carthaginians, the Assyrians, and the Babylonian empires. What has become of them? They have gone into the oblivion of the past. They become human progress because the development of certain races against the stagnation of others. But even yesterday, also had the great German Empire, we had the Russian Empire, and the empires of Australia and Hungary. Where are they now? They too are traveling towards oblivion of the past. Today we have the great French Empire and the British Empire and the great Commonwealth. Will they stand? I think not, because evolution and human progress brings changes, and in these changes, no man can tell what happens tomorrow as against what exists today. Therefore, I say, 400 million Negroes of the world, prepare yourself for a higher life of liberty, industrial education, social, and political. These are the things, some of the opinions of Marcus Garvey. Now we can go a little bit deeper and we can get into Christianity, a form of religion practiced by millions, but as misunderstood and unreal to the majority as the gravity is to the untortured savage. We profess to live in an atmosphere of Christianity, yet our acts and barbarous as if they were never known Christ. He taught us to love, yet we hate, to forgive, yet we revenge, to be merciful, yet we condemn and punish. And still, we are Christians. That's a little bit. And if y'all want more, I'm going to drop this link in the chat room and you can continue to read a little further because we got a lot of people on the line. I won't stay too long with that particular piece, but I will come back to it. Black Ink, what you think? So I don't know who want to speak next, but I'll give you the mic. Whoever want to speak.
Peace, my brother. I just wanted to jump in. I seen the title. I just wanted to jump. Yeah, man. We holding this down for that CRT thing, man. We applying that Booker T. Washington, that George Washington Carver knowledge, man, and putting technology to the garden, getting it growing.
That's right. That's right. You another gardener out there in the Florida region.
Yeah, my brother. But I just wanted to jump in, man. I seen you was breaking down the Marcus Garvey, and we get a lot of people false flagging with the RBG, hating on the Bible, which is like contradictory to the whole true essence of the RBG movement and Pan-Africanism that was started. So I'm glad you able to try and bring clarity to the situation and actually give people the true information about the doctrine that they proclaim to be following, but they have not truly researched.
That's real talk. And I mean, you know, I've been having to go hard on them lately. You know what I mean? And it always seems that when it boils down to it, I'm fighting people whose main narrative is they don't like being confronted or exposed. And when you expose them to what they are mimicking, they deny it. What has been your experience since you've been, you know, involved in this conscious community?
Man, I seen the same thing, man. It's a lot of people faking and fronting and posing in order to really just get one over on the people, man. Everybody trying to one up and be that hustler that's getting over and getting a dollar from the people's pocket, man, and really not returning nothing to the community or developing no institution that's going to benefit the community. It's all about gathering in as many dollars as they can and hate on any group that's not, you know.
Okay, Nawazi, you breaking up on us a little bit. I'm gonna let Lex Vorte. I hope he don't come on and rap. We bow down to Lex. We know Black Ink can't handle it around too. But I also want Black Becky to come back on and tell us about the soap. We need to hear from one more person that know about that soap. But anyway, Nawazi, when your mic work, you can come back in, and Vortex, you got the line.
Yeah, I like what you read about Marcus Garvey, what he was saying about past empires, and you know, looking back and seeing that they're no longer around today. I think that's a very important message. Even as we look at Marcus Garvey, you know, and others that came with solutions and ideas. The same thing that Marcus Garvey was talking then, I would think he would probably say even about himself now, because it looks like he was alluding to that evolution of humanity and how these other empires fell because others eventually surpassed them in the mental evolutionary process. And personally, you know what I'm saying, I think that when it comes to the Black consciousness movement, that we are falling into that same category. I think we need a lot of people make, not that the ideas of these you know, these men wasn't great, but I think we need to lay the foundation for the people, the children 20 years from now should be talking about what Pit Boss was saying and not what Marcus Garvey was saying. And I love Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad and David Walker and Booker T and Frederick Douglass and David, you know, all of them. But I think as we do move into this digital age, that we need who are they going to be talking about 20 years from now? They should be talking about the digital pit bosses and what he wrote down for the new age, and the Lex Vortexes and whoever else is pioneers of thinking. So while I think it's important for us to study history, I think it's more important for us to make history.
Can I ask you this? How long should people talk about Lex Vortex before they forget Lex Vortex?
It all depends. I don't think they ever have to forget, but I think it's according to the times, you know, like, you know, so we, like, during a lot of the times of the people we talk about, it was kind of the industrial age and the world was different. So soon as the world changes, in terms of what the system is built on and the direction is headed, that's when they should probably, they don't have to forget Lex Vortex, but they're gonna have to move on past what I was saying in this day and age, unless
Well, that's fair.
you know what I'm saying. So the world is so different. You know what I'm saying. And I can only imagine. And anyone who really studies technology know how different the world's gonna be, even more in 50 years. The race relations are gonna change. Communication has changed. I mean, it's going to get even crazier. I mean, we it's 50 years from now. I mean, that's how I project. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
The world is not even going to look how far we are now. Like what we're doing now is going to look like child's play. So even what we're saying now, 50 years from now, will probably be a little bit irrelevant. You're going to have a whole new generation. Most of us will probably have died off. The kids that's growing up now, their whole outlook on life is going to be different. Race relations are going to be different. Economy is going to be different. You see what I'm saying? So even what we're saying now is still like some relics, mixed with a little bit of what's going to happen in 50 years. But, a lot of it is dealing from a state of mind from one state of the world. But 50 years from now, when cars are driving themselves and, there's some motherfuckers from Mars walking around or some shit. Like it's like the whole race relation, the economy, who knows? Maybe there was a third world war and shit is being rebuilt. Whatever it is, I'm just saying it's going to be a totally different thing. So I think the pioneers of thinking definitely need to embark on something that has a totally new foundation to move ahead into the future. That's just me. That's my opinion.
Now let me read this to you, Lex. This is some more Garvey, and to everybody else, another aspect of what he felt about God, because so many Kemetic RBGs say they respect Garvey, hold up the flag, but attack that Bible. And this is Garvey. And says, Garvey, to me, as a man, a man has no master but God. Man in his authority is a sovereign Lord. As for the individual man, so of the individual race. This feeling makes no man courageous, so bold as to make it impossible for his brother to intrude upon his rights. So few of us can understand what it takes to make a man. The man who will never say die, the man who will never give up, the man who will never depend upon others to do for him what he ought to do for himself. The man who will not blame God, who will not blame nature, who will not blame fate for his condition, but the man who will go out and make his condition to suit himself. Oh, how disgusting life becomes when on every hand you hear people who bear your image, who bear your resemblance, telling you that they cannot make it. The fate is against them, that they cannot get a chance. If 400,000 Negroes can only get to know themselves, to know that in them is a sovereign power, is an authority that is absolute, then in the next 24 hours, we would have a new race. We would have a nation, an empire, a resurrected, not from the will of others to see us rise, but from our own determination to rise, irrespective of what the world thinks. These are important concepts because we still feel this way among many of us that's doing bad. What you think about that?
Those are some timeless words that I think it's funny that when I read those words, I think of a lot of arguments I have with the Black Power movement people, because in those words, in my language, Marcus Garvey is saying that there's really no excuse for you not creating your reality. And I argue with people all the time, in the Black Power community about how much they focus on the white man and what the white man has done in his system and all of that. But when I read those words, it seems like that it's quite similar. You know what I'm saying? He was saying that, you know, overnight, if you was to do what you were supposed to do, no matter what anyone else is doing or what they thinks, you could not be stopped because there's a sovereign power inside of you. That sovereign power is what that some of us call Jesus Christ. And that is the power to create. You know what I'm saying? The creative power that is no greater power than the power to create. So with every problem, you know, there's creativity can outdo that problem. So when I hear that, I always think about, and people argue with me and say you're a coon and all of this time. When I say, yo, stop talking about the goddamn white man. Stop telling me about what he's doing, what he did, how he did it, and don't blame him for anything. Whatever's going on, blame yourself, because that's total self-responsibility. You know what I mean? So that's what, you know, those are interesting words, and it's totally contrary to what I hear today in what I call, you know, the pop Black Power movement, which is we gotta make the people aware of the white man, and they empower him as if he's God over their lives.
That's Lex Vortex, y'all. You got to catch him on the Vortex open mic where he go in 3-4 times a night. And I mean, I can't disagree with the fact of what you're saying about what they do. But I think we tend to talk about the same crew who is making these arguments. And most of those in the Black Power movement, I would say within this conscious community context, is those that represent that Kemetic ideology with the red, black, and green attached to it. They're the ones who miscue the understanding of Marcus Garvey. As I had a brother on, and he said he got a school, and it's RBG. I asked the question, are you teaching the Bible? And damn it, I got the frying pan thrown at me. Simply because you can't be teaching this shit if you're not teaching Garvey. But you can't say Garvey if you're not teaching Garvey. Go ahead, brother.
That's what I was saying earlier about them not understanding the material that they are so-called following. Just like they hate the Bible because they don't understand it, because they never really read it, or they have had someone else interpret it for them, and they don't have a full understanding of it. Because when he got upset when you asked about the whole Bible thing with his RBG school, it's like, well, brother, did you ever do the research on the RBG? Did you research Booker T? Did you research Marcus Garvey to find out exactly what was going on? And then when he had the Frederick Douglass picture up, who was an integrationalist, which goes against total what he's talking about in the movement.
So at some point, I'm showing on the screen another segment, and it's the Image of God segment of the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. Listen to this, my man, and answer this one. If the white man has the idea of a white God, let him worship his God as he desires. If the yellow man, God of his race, let him worship his God as he sees fit. We, as Negroes, have found a new idea. Whilst our God has no color, yet it is human to see everything through one's own spectacles. And since white people have seen their God through white spectacles, we have only to started out, late though it be, to see our God through our own spectacles, the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob. Let him exist for the race that believes in the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob. We Negroes believe in the God of Ethiopia, the everlasting God, God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost, the one God of all ages. That is the God in whom we believe. We shall not worship him through the spectacles. I mean, we shall worship him through the spectacles of Ethiopia. He used the word Ethiopia the way we use the word black. You know what I mean? In today's context.
Yeah,
What do you think?
he was using it as encompassing all of the black people of that African region. As in that particular time, Ethiopia was a powerhouse that had just attained somewhat of a military victory at that time under Haile Selassie. But that what he's saying right there illustrates it all, that as we awaken as black people and understanding what we've been taught and beginning to gain wisdom in it, we're going to understand that we can see God through our own eyes and the image that we need to see him in as black people, which is going to raise us up to a higher elevation of thinking, knowing that we see ourselves as what we all pray to and what we
Now,
are.
wouldn't you find that contradictory if someone walked up on a young child to introduce them to Pan-African theology and they got on a red, black, and green earrings and red, black, and green flags with them and all this red, black, and green yelling out Garvey, and then hand you a book on Garvey, and then they bash in the Bible? But when you read the book they gave you, Garvey loved God. Garvey loved the Bible. How can you then understand what they talking about when they shit that they representing does not follow suit with the person who introduced the information in the flag to them? This is what makes them hypocrites. You understand what I'm saying? This is where exposing them, this is where they get upset, because they know what they're doing. They know what their agenda is, and it's not to push Pan-Africanism. It's not to push red, black, and green, because red, black, and green was established on that Bible. And this is what they hate.
Hey, let me say this, man.
Go ahead, Vortex.
Now, a lot of us in this community have all type of disagreements, philosophies, whatever. But I'm gonna tell you, man. After doing a study, I found out the real problem. It's not the Bible. It's not the, you know what I'm saying? It's the damn comedic RBG dudes, man. These dudes, you know me, I just turn up, man. These dudes are the wickedest, ignorantest cats out here. Everybody else argues, but they pretty much get along. They the ones that keep pushing this narrative of, if you want to be RBG, if you want to be cold, blue, black, then you got to get rid of Jesus. That's just their narrative.
Right.
And it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. The white man's book, it's the white Jesus. And you just heard Marcus Garvey say, we know God really has no color, but every people see God through their own eyes.
So then now look here, Vortex. It makes you turn away from wanting to attach yourself to the red, black, and green, because you don't disassociate yourself from the God of the Bible. So it's like, if you go repping it and you use the modern day, theme, you got to bang on the Bible. That's why Sarah Sunseti looked like a big ass idiot with all that red, black, and green and all them Garvey symbols behind him banging on the Bible. That shit looked ridiculous. That's like me having a big ass lion, a big ass picture of Haile Selassie, Ethiopia. It's ridiculous to anyone who studies the material. It just looks absolutely goddamn ridiculous. And they do this shit every day.
But they do it on purpose. And the purpose is to create the confusion and the drama that we see in the community for them to profit off of, because that's all they profit off of is the continuing damn drama and foolishness that we see, where these niggas be acting like straight hoes. And it's sad to see that these people look up to, just like they look up to these bras on Real Housewives of Consciousness that do foolish shit. So you see more and more people out there doing that shit. They act out. They rocking all this goddamn crazy expensive weave, blowing their money rather than investing it. Are they worried about trying to get their credit fixed so they could go buy more fake hair or invest in more damn scams? And it's crazy that this shit has been proliferating through the community the way it has. And when people try and stand up to it, they get assaulted by the majority of the community for just trying to stop foolishness from being disseminated everywhere.
And that's the truth.
You know, I hate to say it. Well, I don't hate to say it. The truth is, man, a lot of those Afrocentric scholars were satanic agents, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were, most of them, a lot of them were atheists, man. And they came in, you know what I'm saying? The ones they look up to the most, they were atheists. And for some reason, they had what it was, they developed through their historical study, they develop a hate for the people that the religion that carried the so-called flag of the religion. So if you listen to people like Dr. Ben and John Henry Clark, you're going to see their analysis is, well, the Arabs came in and destroyed African civilization, and the Arabs claimed they was Muslims. So Islam destroyed African civilization. The Europeans came in and enslaved Africans. They said they was Christians. So Christianity in that Bible destroyed African civilization. And honestly, I think their racism and their hate tainted their view, because even if Europeans came in and destroyed African civilizations and they had a Bible in their hand, that doesn't mean they was following the damn Bible. So you can't associate the people just because they said they was this and that. And it's really interesting that these were highly intellectual men that couldn't make that distinction. So you hear a lot of people say is they came in with the Bible, they gave you a Bible and you gave them the gold type stuff. You hear like words like that, and that's just ridiculous. That's not what happened. You know what I'm saying? Nobody came in and said, "I'll trade you some gold for a Bible." See,
but see,
yeah, go ahead.
They talking to the youth that are not quite educated, knowing that they gonna believe that. So every time I confront one of these comedic RBGs that they don't really know why they're attacking the Bible, because they've been programmed to do so by whoever introduced them to RBG, to when I actually came on the scene and said, look, I'm gonna take it back pre-Garvey so y'all can't argue no more. Because once we go pre-Garvey and start talking about black folks in America and what they were doing for black folks, we was all pretty much united in a certain front. Regardless of, your actual belief, we had certain issues. So it was important to look at that period to stop the confusion that's going on today. And then because I wanted to go that direction, because it's like there's no way to compete. But as long as you keep the narrative in the 60s, 70s, the 80s, they got Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark and Amos Wilson that all kind of push the narrative that they like to hear. But those guys don't establish the narrative. And that's why it was important that we brought that out. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But real quick,
it's funny.
Go ahead, brother.
It's funny that a while ago, Dr. Ali Muhammad had did a couple of years ago a blog talk show that he said he'll give anybody $10,000 to prove him wrong, and he talked about who actually formed the Afrocentric movement, and it was basically formed by like the Rockefellers. And it's funny that some of them scholars that we talk about was on the original boards of this Afrocentric movement. The Afrocentric movement was a CIA fucking government operation, bro. I think that they sent a lot of these people out here to offset what Elijah Muhammad was doing. That's a whole nother thing. But I just think it was just to cause confusion. It's like they came in and instead of just joining the movement, they attacked other people just based off the whole religious thing. They could have just came in and said, you know what, we got to put African traditional religion in its place in the movement. But they didn't do that like everyone else did. Like Garvey called his crew, he had Little Israel. He had Israelites, you know what I'm saying? He had RBGs, but they came in and their stance was, we got to get rid of all of that and get back to Africa. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was just divisive. And that's, like you said, that's why we have what we have today with this beef between basically Dr. Ben's followers and everybody else. That's what it comes down to. Dr. Ben John Henry Clark's followers, and everybody else.
Yo, my man Lex Vortex, the beast from the east on the freestyle. Hey, my brother.
Yeah.
Yo, I just want everybody to go out and get that album, Lex. I'm still going to hit the link and get the album, man, online. You know what I'm saying? Just to get my recovery reflexes back. I'll never battle you again in the chat, especially on a Google Hangout like that, bruh. I like what you're talking about today. We're finally on one accord, you know what I'm saying? But Pitt, just to let you know, man, I'm chiming in again from the chat, in and out. The next question is, since we're on the topic of RBG, red, black, and green, could you please go back and deal with what Garvey said about the flag as far as a symbol and then the background substance behind the symbol? I'm going to drop out and get back in the chat. Peace to Lex Vortex. Y'all need to go get that album for real, though. And tune in to Vortex Open Mic every night. What it do?
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, that's that code. It's called Cold-Blooded Pre-Salvation. If you click on any of my links, you'll see it's available for digital download. Thanks for the plug, Black Ink.
Yeah, see, me and Lex Vortex had some fun going back and forth. We are part of the conscious community, housewives of consciousness. Sometimes you get a good show, we just in that mood. Sometimes we behind the scenes, I'm attacking, and y'all enjoy it. Y'all run our views up to several hundred views, and we enjoy that, and so forth and so forth. But once we settle down and we get back to the narrative, then at the end of the day, it's ideology and ideas being put forth on the table. So we here today to try to see if the Kemetic community is going to keep it real about what they're really pushing. And, you know what I'm saying? What is the deal on this red, black, and green flag? And what should we expect? You know what I'm saying? So let me read a little narrative. It says that the flag was created in 1920 by the members of the UNIA in response to the enormously popular 1900 coon song, "Every Race Has a Flag But the Coon," which has been cited as one of the 3 coon songs that firmly established the term coon in the American vocabulary. A 1921 report appeared in the African Times and Orient Review, for which Marcus Garvey previously worked, quoted him regarding the importance of the flag. "Show me the race or the nation without a flag, and I will show you a race of people without any pride. In song and mimicry, they have said, every race has a flag but the coon. How true. But that was said for us 4 years ago, that they say it now. Alternatively, it has been explained by journalist Charles Marbury. White and Garvey proposed the colors for the following reason. Garvey said red because of the sympathy for the red of the world, and the green for the sympathy of the Irish in the fight for freedom, and the black for the Negro. The flag later became an African nationalist symbol for the worldwide liberation of people of African origin. As an emblem of Black pride, the flag became popular during the Black liberation movement of the 1960s. In 1971, a school board of New York, New Jersey passed a resolution permitting the flag to be raised in public school classrooms. 4 of the board's 9 members were not present at the time, and the resolution was introduced by the board's team members, and so forth and so on. This is a little history about that flag. Now, I'm not too sure about this particular article I'm reading in regards. There was an issue with Ireland, or the Irish people at the time who were fighting for independence, and Marcus Garvey came to their assistance. But in studying this flag in depth, we know that this flag is
yeah, though. I see.
Say it again.
That's kind of deep right there, because I believe Marcus Garvey was a humanist. But I want to say this real quick while you're reading that, Pit. Just going through this, I realized that I may be able to adopt the flag again. I might become an RBG Christian again. Because you know what I realized? Them dudes turned me against the flag. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of stuff that I say.
Just like they turn people against the Bible.
Yeah, but I realized that's one of the reasons that these people out here, because you know, everyone know I be on some humanist stuff, but I think most of our leaders, even though they were black first, they were ultimately humanists. They just said, yo, we gotta take care of ourselves first. But I think they turned me against the whole RBG movement, period, bro. So, you know, I might have to rethink that. My next show, I might have an RBG flag back up, man.
Now, as I spoke the red and black and green from this article, this was explained by a journalist named Charles Marbury. This is what he said, Garvey said. So now understand, when you studying stuff, you have to just be open to the information that you can find, because you didn't live there at the time and you can't superimpose what you want history to be. History is as it plays itself out, and all you can do is understand it and then utilize it in the best way for your current situation. And it is what it is. We can get into a deeper level of the flag. I have more information that I just not prepared to go access in my files, where I have more articles dealing with the flag, and I'll do another show and we can go way deeper. But you know, in order for me to be exact and on point and prepared, I have to sit for an hour or two and prepare the video like a full-on lecture, which I haven't done in a while, because it takes time away from your day and getting to your business. And, you know, we little channels and we don't get much support. So I have little time to be preparing shows. I got to just do them off the fly. But I wanted to go back to Black Becky real quick, and then I'll come back to whoever would like to speak. And y'all can just save your questions or your narrative, and I'll give you the mic. But Black Becky, if you could, I would like you to show some soap, or, you know, let the people know your experience and what that done, or how you view that, you know, and what you thought about, as you were the very first person to make an initiative to activate the whole soap concept coming into existence in the conscious community here on my channel. Black Becky jumping in on 8 different links. What you think?
Yeah, my bad. I'm back here working. I don't know what was said. I got kicked out. My internet kicked me out. Hopefully the signal's strong enough. I have my camera on here, but I did not hear whatever you said prior to me coming on. So could you repeat it?
I wanted you to show us a little of the soap, if you still have some left, and your experience with it. You know, how, if you showered in it, what, you know, all of that type of stuff. Just give us a little kickback on the soap. And if you have a little soap and somebody might want to, you know, get some from you or something, you know, it's all good. Whatever you want to share, just tell us something about that soap.
You want to hear about the soap?
Yes, sir. And I mean, yes, ma'am. And if you could flash it on the screen, and just, you know, if you have some or something.
I'm on. I'll be on as long as you're on. So I'll be able to do that. At this time, that's not possible. It's not possible for me to share my screen. But yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all. I have some here. Here has been my experience. The day that I received the package, I immediately dropped off some bars with my family members, because based on my research, and I love essential oils, based on my research, the oils that I saw you put in the soap in your videos, I knew that with the, what is it called, activated bamboo charcoal, that would help with some of the skin conditions that I know my family members have. I also have a child here with eczema. So as far as the activated bamboo charcoal, I gave 1 bar. They split that 4 ways, and I'm not coming off any more of my bars, because I think I only have maybe like 7 or so that I received. So I'm holding on to all of those, because the results here in the house have been remarkable in terms of, I have teenagers, so dealing with acne, dealing with anything going on with the body. It's basically, the way that I see it, it's almost magnetic in that it's drawing out certain toxins and things of that sort. So we absolutely love the black soap. Now the triple body bar, my son has eczema. I started bathing him in that, and he's 3. I started bathing him in that, and I wouldn't say within maybe 3-4 days, I immediately saw results. I saw changes. So that helped, that I didn't have to go to the store and get him the some of the other name brands that are out there that have ingredients that I can't pronounce or whatnot. So I feel good about that. The peppermint, the lavender, people love it. They're asking me for it, but I do have an issue, Pitt. When I saw you do the videos making the soap, I doubled down. I got the soap. I'm looking at the soap right now. I don't feel real comfortable coming up off my soap right now. Birthdays, holidays, Mother's Day, so on and so forth. You know, if I want to put a little gift bag together for someone, I may. As far as letting the soap go, I don't know. Not right now. Only because, one, I have several businesses that I'm managing. We have our project that we're working on now with the other CRTs. Everything I do in excellence. So I want it to be done in such a manner that people feel like they got more than what they paid for, you know, in terms of the soap. So it's not a project that I could take on right now in terms of the sales. If someone had, you know, they just wanted a bar or two, not a problem. I suppose it would just be through the email. I don't have any website or anything set up for it to be sold through for e-commerce or whatever, but I'll set up something for the PayPal. It's blackbeckytechie@gmail.com. That's my PayPal. We can work something out. Just email me, blackbeckytechie@gmail, and we'll see. You really need to get your hands on a bar of this soap, only because we've been using commercial. Now my children are very sensitive, so I was using like the best commercial, no dyes, no any of that. And the results that we got from the soap far surpassed it. Not to mention the fact that I like the idea of buying black and selling to everyone. So to know that someone that looks like me or a member of my family produced it, it's high quality, it's doing what you said it would do. I'm just glad to be involved in the group economics. And I also want to say something, Pitt, and if I'm out of line, kick me out, it's fine. I thought about what you and Black Ink said a moment ago when I came in and you said, Becky, is anybody paying you to say what you're saying or holding a gun to your head or anything like that? And when I got off just a moment ago, I thought about it and I said, damn, the message that you're putting out there for someone to say, okay, I think like that, and I want to link up with him, the other CRTs, all the people that think like he thinks. I get on and I say exactly how I feel out of my heart, but because of what's going on with YouTube and the contamination on YouTube, I can't even speak my heart without there being some type of doubt. And I'm not saying anything against you or Black Ink, because I understand that you were saying it in jest, but you were also saying what someone may have been thinking. And I just thought to myself, it's a shame. It's a shame that what you're saying, the message that you're putting out there, regardless of whatever else is going on, I mind my business. So when we talk about the business, I'm in. I'm all the way in because I'm looking at the information out here. I have 6 children that I have to say something to, and I'm being held accountable every day. I'm listening to what you're saying. Not only that, I'm backing up the facts. When I hit you up in January, you said you were a poker man, so I wanted you to show your hand. I wanted to see your cards. I wanted to see if the things you were saying on YouTube, you were actually going to do. Not only did you respond to you called, you gave me the number, and we've talked on the phone. And it's very clear. You have not jumped not one bit. This is, let's say, January 1st. You ain't came off your block. You're not compromising, none of that. And that's admirable. I just hope that the environment here on YouTube changes where people like myself can come out and say something and not feel as though there's going to be ridicule or whatnot. I have studied. I continue to study. I believe in the philosophy of studying to show yourself approved, to be a workman that need not be ashamed, rightfully dividing the truth. And in all my getting, I get an understanding. So I don't allow anyone to put thoughts into my mind. I don't allow anyone to change me or move me. What I'm saying is the things that you've said, the message that you've put out, the information that's out there is changing things in my family, not because of you, Pit Boss, but because of the message. You are the messenger. It is the message. No one ever said the things about Marcus Garvey that you say. No one ever said the things about Booker T. Washington that you say. And the community that I came out of, they need a solution. And the solution is STEM. The solution is take control of your economic environment in a way that you don't have to keep looking over your back, keep wondering who's watching you, keep wondering who's going to make a phone call. It's wonderful. It's wonderful, especially for the youth. Lex Vortex says something about anybody studying technology sees the future. Lex, we are studying it. We do see the future, and more importantly, the future for the youth, because I have babies here, so all I can think about is the future.
I love it. Now let me read something real quick that kind of go along with what you just said, and this is some more words of the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. And it says, it is so hard and so difficult to find men who will stick to a purpose, who will maintain a principle for the worth of that principle, for the good of the purpose. And if there is a race that needs such men in the world today, God Almighty knows it is a race of which I am a member. The race needs men of vision and ability, men of character, and above all, men of honesty. And that is so hard to find. That just seems to roll along with the sentiments that you shared, and I appreciate that. And I definitely knew that what I was talking about was real. I've been this way my whole life. Everything I ever said I did. I didn't always do the right thing. I didn't always succeed, but I always got my black ass up and got right back in the game. And that's what makes the difference between the losers and the winners. The losers quit and the winners fail and try again until they win. That's what it is. I see Lil T done found him a new link and got back in this thing. Go ahead, Lil T. Let's see if you can hang on long enough this time, bro.
Look, man, you right, man. I'm about the hypocrite. Yeah, I was a hypocrite, man. You right. You right, man. Look, now I remember the little passage you read me, man. It just, you right, man. Man, I don't like you. I just want a country. I want us to have a country. I want to have factories. I want to have a military. I want to have everything controlled and get these white people up out of here. That's what I want, man. That's all I want.
Now I need the Negroologist to come on chime in so she could add back on to the building blocks. If I can get the Negroologist to hit the link, let me drop the link. Hey, Lil T, I'm listening to you, brother, and I'm damn sure not your enemy. I'm just hard on you because apparently that's the kind of teaching that you gonna respect. Is someone who will push you beyond your comfort zone.
I feel you, Pit, but I'm gonna tell you though, I live in a negative ass place, man. You know, I mean, I just live in a negative ass place. You know, people around me, you know, we call each other. It's sad to say this, but you know, it's how we live. You know, we call each other probably bitch ass niggas every day, and you know, hoe ass niggas, and filthy shit out of our mouth every day. You know, around the people that I live around, and sometimes, you know, you got to check yourself and understand you ain't around these type of people all the time. You got people out here that ain't like that, you know what I mean? It fucked me up sometimes, man. So I apologize. I was wrong for that shit, man. I was wrong. It's all them comedic movies that make you think, you know, you got to be evil in this world, man, to get what's yours. They make it seem like you got to take to get what's yours, because these people that fuck you. So it just, sometimes you got to humble yourself. I'm humbling myself right now, man.
Well, bro, I wish you all the best of luck in the negative environment. I too had to come through a negative environment, and I didn't have a negative mind. So if you want a positive life in a negative environment, you got to maintain a positive mind, because they can lock you up, but they can't lock up your mind. That's what Garvey said. That's what I'm going to say. They can't lock up your mind. You can free your mind and you free your soul. But apparently there's a group out there that would like us not to read the Bible and learn any of the value in it. There's a group that swears the white man wrote it and that he wrote it to enslave you. And man, that just right there sound like the devil to me. The devil in the aspect is a deceiver. It just sounds like deception. And then They carry on about it over and over and over for a long period of time. And they don't want to cease because they winning. They selling t-shirts. They selling speaking engagements. They selling debates and battles. They selling all type of shit that they don't want to get rid of. This their income. And when pit boss go hard, they lose money. And when men lose money, they ready to go to war. Thus, I got to call out the warriors. But that's what the purpose of this whole thing is. But see, men before me did it that I could see the evidence in the history of how they fought against a wicked system for their time so that I could be here to build off that foundation. And so when I went in my information, I looked hard. I heard all the perspectives, and I couldn't find one better when it came to building us back as a strong nation, when we get back in that stem, because the literary arts, it's hard to be a sport player. It's hard to rap as good as Lex Vortex. It's hard to do that type of shit. Only a few of us make it that way. But everybody can be an electrician, damn near. Everybody can make some soap. It's easy. It's easy. I know you made some soap yourself, Lil T, right?
Yeah, I did, man. I sure did.
Did it work out for you? You were showering in it? You put your own soap? You never thought about doing that prior to the show?
Yeah, I never thought I'd be doing that in my life, man. I ain't even gonna lie, man. That's with all them chemicals and stuff. I never thought I'd be doing it. And I never thought it'd clump up like that, man. It's amazing, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. It's amazing stuff, you know, you can do out here that, you know, just they can do it. You know, a little 15-year-old child can get up, you know, teenager can get up and do this, man. So it's amazing.
It's all good. Well, I got my brother Black Ink. What you think back on the line? What you got to say, homie?
Hey, man, great show. You got more people. Hey, man, you had it live at the barbecue like main source. So many people hit the link today. I think we set a world record.
Yeah, you know what? Since they do so many events based on consciousness, I want to do an event in Atlanta, Georgia, where we just gonna come and party and eat and party. It ain't gonna be about nobody coming to speak. We just gonna meet up. All the food gonna be free. Every money given to the event is to pay for the food.
Oh man, yo, they didn't know that in the Dr. Dre video called Dre Day, it was Pit Boss running the barbecue pit in the park with the strap in the back. How you gonna act?
Hey, you know, I got some partners. They got big ass trucks with grills on them, the size of the goddamn truck.
Hey, look, bro, I'm gonna just cut it short and sweet and to the point, like that barbecue sauce with the extra chilies in it, bruh. The title of this chat today, the subject matter at play, is Marcus Garvey will slay the conscious community. So let's just cut to the chase. Let's do it straight. I don't want no ice. I don't want no Coca-Cola on my Maker's Mark or my Jack Daniels. Could you play Marcus Garvey in his own words and just shut the whole operation down once and for all? I'm out.
Okay, let me go grab the clip, man. You know, you be going hard on it. Hard on it. I got one though. We're gonna see if this clip will settle my man Black Ink. What you think? He want to hear that Garvey speak. Now, I'm kind of I don't have this properly queued up, and this is a long ass clip. But we're gonna see where we get to right here.
The black people are subjects of ostracism. It is sad that our humanity has shown us no more love, no greater sympathy than we are experiencing. Wheresoever you go throughout the world, the black man is discarded, is ostracized, is relegated to the lowest in things, social, political, and economical. This therefore suggests a problem and one that must be solved. We in this section of the world are not entirely free from this unkind, unsympathetic, and uncharitable behavior of the groups or races around us. But since man has been placed on his own responsibility, whether he be black, white, or yellow, he must act on his own account. We will not unduly whine or complain, but reason among ourselves and see what can be done to remedy this state of affairs. You have to fight your way through it, whether you will it or not. Those of us who are able to fight most stubbornly live, accomplish most, and to them go the laurels, the palms, and triumph of our civilization and world. We unfortunately have not been trained nor educated to the truths of life, paradoxically so. They have shown us no more love, no greater sympathy than we are experiencing. Wheresoever you go throughout the world, the black man is discarded, is ostracized, is relegated to the lowest in things, social, political, and economical. This therefore suggests a problem and one that must be solved. We in this section of the world are not entirely free from this unkind, unsympathetic, and uncharitable behavior of the groups or races around us. But since man has been placed on his own responsibility, whether he be black, white, or yellow, he must act on his own account. We will not unduly whine or complain, but reason among ourselves and see what can be done to remedy this state of affairs. Life is a conflict. You have to fight your way through it, whether you will it or not. Those of us who are able to fight most stubbornly live, accomplish most, and to them go the laurels, the palms, and triumph of our civilization and world. We unfortunately have not been trained nor educated to the truths of life, paradoxically so. May I say something to you to give you a true knowledge of yourself and life, so that the same glory and success attained by other men who understand themselves may be yours. Man in the full knowledge of himself is a superb and supreme creature of creation. When man becomes possessor over the knowledge of himself, he becomes master of his environment, the captain of his own ship, the director of his own destiny, the accomplisher of his own ends. Man should understand himself because man is full of knowledge, and this knowledge is a gift of nature. When Mother Nature created man, she deprived him of nothing. He was given the faculty of understanding all things around him. This faculty for understanding has not been taken away from him. None of his senses have been taken away from him. So there is no excuse for the black man in lacking the knowledge that man is used to beautify the world and produce all that he needs for his happiness and civilization. Look the world over, and whatever you see in it that is pleasing to man, contributing to man's comfort, to his needs and to his satisfaction, it is but the work of man. Man blessed with the knowledge of himself and the understanding of all things around him. If you are able to live with the knowledge of yourself and with the greater knowledge of nature, you must know what is good and what is not. You must know what is finite. You must know that which is material, physical, and otherwise is at your disposal to create or otherwise use. If we leave America and go over to the east, to Japan, they will be telling their fellow citizens of Japan of the wonderful accomplishments of the Japanese people, proving that man is moving onward as time moves on. But you have hated yourselves as you have done in previous years. You have shown malice, prejudice, and hate to each other. And the result is that while other races have made progress, while India has made progress towards nationalism, while Ireland has made progress towards republicanism, while the whole world has made progress in man's accomplishments, you still stand fighting yourselves, dishonoring yourselves, showing no disposition toward that higher life so that you will be abundantly blessed. So reflect and think that you were created for some purpose other than exhibiting malice toward your neighbor or fellow men of your own race. What a pity it is that we cannot stand united without a written law. There is no written law compelling other races to stand together. They are brought together by the gentle touch of nature. The unwritten law of nature causes them to stand together on all occasions. So wheresoever you find them in the field, that one gentle touch of nature causes them to stand together, if need be, die together. But with the black man, you can preach to him from the pulpits. You lecture from the platforms, from the byways and the hedges. The spirit of cooperation, but he will not cooperate. You talk to him gently, you try talking harshly to him, he still will not cooperate. The result is that he falls prey to those who understand themselves and walk through the world making you their serfs and slaves. You must acquire an understanding of yourselves. Look around you. See the smiling pictures of nature, the beautiful hedges, the wonderful mountains, the wonderful vegetation all around. But because of your disposition to each other, you live in suffering, in want, in penury, and in debt. You lack the gentle touch of nature, love for each other. You hate yourselves. Black men, what is wrong with you? Why have you no affection for yourselves? Could I hope to see you living among yourselves as the people I've spoken of? Living in charity, love, and in sympathy with each other? It can be done. I wonder if you will adapt that course. Isn't it easier to enjoy prosperity than to live in ignorance and darkness? Why select the worst out of nature? Nature never gave pain, suffering, and death to the world. It was man himself who selected death, pain, and sorrow. I wonder if I cannot inspire you to select between good and evil. Let me impress upon you once again that whatsoever your hardships may be, whatsoever your difficulties in life, they are your own selection. And so if you encourage them, if you husband them and take them to your bosom, they will abide with you. Nature will not take them away from you as Mother Nature did not give them to you. She's not responsible for your sorrows. Mother Nature represents all that is beautiful. She gave you the highest personality in the realm divine. Your sorrows are your own. If you want joy, if you want sunshine, it is before you abundantly in nature. I made a selection of sunshine, the beautiful sunshine. I made a selection to laugh at the moon, to laugh at the stars, and sing with the birds of the forest and of the wilderness, to join in the rhythmic music of the winds that sing from east to west and from north to south. Had I selected sorrow, I would have been dead a long time ago and been without that which would send me into the presence of the divine, because I would have lived not with the knowledge that is divine. We must acquire the higher knowledge of life. Black men and black women, will you get the knowledge that the white man has that causes him to be leaders and masters in the world? They are not gods with a peculiar source for understanding the world around them. They have only given expression to the knowledge of their humanity and been able to use and conquer all to their satisfaction and glory. And that is why they are always greater than you in every community that you find them. Isn't it strange that wheresoever the white man is found, he takes precedence over you? Why is that so? Answer that for yourselves, black men and black women. Wheresoever you come in contact with the white man, you always have to go down in defeat before him. Whether it be in England, in France, or in America, you always have to go down to the white man, and yet he has 2 eyes, 2 feet, 2 hands, same passions, same senses and feelings as you have. Opposite sides, now your hands turned around the other way. But it's because you fail to use your will, your knowledge, and your mental faculty to the point where you will enjoy life around you. I'm only here and not in the gutters and in the pond of despair because I use my intelligence. And I swear that no man alive shall ever use his intelligence in understanding the works of nature more than I shall rise as high as he ascends. I shall meet him on the same platform of mental equality and fight him till thy kingdom come, because nature created us equal. I want you to make up your minds as I made up my mind years ago. Make up your mind that you will rise to the knowledge of your soul. Because of your ignorance, you cannot understand and decide between good and evil. You don't know whether you're doing right or wrong. With a greater knowledge of life, you're able to appreciate all things around you. I'm able to gather you here because I understand you. Understand your neighbor, your wife, your children, and you will be able to live in harmony with each other and get the best out of life. The early Africans were able to be the fathers of our civilization because they persevered in their object. When we hear the civilization of the Alexandrias, of the Timbuktus, the creation of the black man in the early ages, do we realize that the civilization we now enjoy was handed down to the present century? But the black man went back to sleep and is still sleeping. We are trying to awaken you to the true consciousness of yourselves. You young black men, you young black women, may we not appeal to you knowing you as we do. To turn over a new leaf, rejecting the ignorance, the foolishness, the childishness that has been your part for these many years. We've looked into your faces, you growing manhood, the rising generation, and no serious thought can we see registered on your countenance but the thought of vulgarity. I've been in your presence and my heart bleeds for you, the conduct you reflect. I've listened to your dirty language used to express yourselves when you could have expressed yourselves in good form. Can I appeal to the black manhood to turn over a new leaf? I'm ashamed of my black manhood, and what I've said to the black man, I also said to the black women. Your conduct is disgraceful. Young women whose personality spells respectability, at the least provocation, the filthy words they utter would almost make you turn and run away from them. A race that cannot conduct itself any better than that is bound to go down in defeat, is bound to go down in death, in hell, and in degradation. Your conduct is going to destroy you. You're driving your best friends away from you. Men will not respect you because you do not respect yourself. As I come in contact with my race from both a financial and social point of view, I realize how weak we are in the essentials that make for success. You are your worst enemy. The black man goes into business and tries to do the right thing, but what do we find? He gets no support from his fellow man. They lie on him, they rob him, and the next thing you hear, he's out of business, pulled down by you, his brothers. have no faith, and are dishonest to each other. There is no love for the man in black. See how we are struggling as strangers in a foreign clime, struggling in America, in Europe, in Asia, and in Africa, where men look upon us, not with love.
The government of the United States, along with the federal...
Boom. That was some extra. Now, this is not the Garvey they're preaching. They say Garvey. I hear videos every day. Garvey this, Garvey that. All of that red, black, and green. Putting on red and black and green don't make you Pan-African. That just make you trying to sell some shit that you bought some Pan-African colors. What makes you Pan-African is that you teach and preach what it is to be what they laid down in the foundation. If you switch up the message, you become a deceiver. And that's it. You got a new message, but the shit ain't changed. Pan-Africanism is the upliftment of one's culture and economic condition under colonialism in Africa, out of slavery in America. That is the foundation of Pan-Africanism. It was never meant for a bunch of Negroes to come together and start bashing on the Bible in order to get YouTube hits and fill up auditoriums to hear ridiculous ass debates. It was never meant for that. And that's all you niggas do with it. So as you know, Pit Boss knows his shit and spit that shit better than any of them. And you will never, ever see me mix up Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey. You'll never see me do that. Because there's one side of black folks who want for integration. They feel that's better for black people. That's not Garvey. That's not Booker T. That's not the men I speak on. The men I speak on from the aspect of red, black, and green, they want for you to buy land. They want for you to empower yourself economically. They want for you to set yourself up a government and govern over yourself, the only true way out this shit. And you can't get there screaming black power, but you're bullshitting about the narrative. You're running people away from the shit, and the people you draw to it, you turn them into Bible haters instead of liberating folks. And then you just lie continuous. So if you Negroes see me and you don't keep it 100, then it's all good. We're going to make it do what it do. So I'm going to drop the link and see if anybody going to add to this show. We've been rocking. Y'all done heard from several people. If y'all don't mind, jump into PayPal. We over here building websites. We building soap. We bringing to you information. We would like to compete against the beast that drives us crazy in the streets. And we damn sure can't do it alone. And that's what it is. That's Garvey in his own words. Go ahead with it. Black, is that you?
Yes, it's me.
Drop it, drop it.
As you know, I'm homeschooling. I got like a little mini STEM program going on here in my home. And there's a philosophy that I stick to, which says, train up a child in the way that they should go. And when they are adults, they will not depart from it. And what I'm discovering is that that statement has been proven to be true, but it's also indifferent. If you train up a child to attack people that are different, when they're adults, they'll do the same. And I'm starting to suspect, as I watch these various different channels, that we're seeing a manifestation of this coming true, where children, and it's still happening now, children are being taught to attack people that are different. We're not getting anywhere with that. We're not getting anywhere with that. Now, I noticed in the chat, they were talking about what money is. I have a philosophy on what money is. We call it currency. And when we look up the word current, it means flow. So we're talking about cash flow. My understanding of group economics is that when we get the currency, the cash flowing amongst one another, we all become empowered and we're all connected and we're building. And I just wanted your thoughts on that, Pitt, in regards to saying that money is currency and that flow, that energy flow or that exchange, because we have to have transactions to pay for our goods and our services. If we're doing that together as a group, controlling our economic environment together as a group with that cash flow, with that currency, with that cash, then I believe that we would be in a better position going forward. What are your thoughts?
Well, that's a really good topic. And I once played a video. Let me pull it up and see if I can get it right up real quick. See if I can find it. If I can find it, I'm gonna let it play and answer that. Let's see. I see some stuff. If not, I'm just gonna go ahead and answer the question. But basically, what you're saying is this: if we let the energy flow in the aspect of currency in reference to money, the circulation of that dollar, whatever form that dollar shall be. These days, that dollar has various forms. It could be gold, it could be cryptocurrency, it could be legal tender, but it's going to represent a value for a service or a product. And we're going to exchange that. And by the exchange of these things, we're going to build in the community. See, we create money by purely creating a service or product. And if someone values what we create, they'll then create a service or product in exchange. And so we'll use some sort of object to set the standard for that exchange. And that is our currency, the means of production. If we're not producing, we have no wealth. And it's that simple.
Can I say something?
We got to go ahead, little T, get it in, bro.
That's why, like, cause I'll be looking at the exchange rate of African countries, and I'll be astounded on how much the dollar is compared to, some African country. Like, I think like in Nigeria, like $1 probably equal up to like $500 of Nigeria, probably even more, 500 or 5,000, I think. Like, production, and you said like the resources of the country of his land.
Well, I'm simply saying, if you go, and I'm sure we got my brother Black Ink, who if he was in his garden, he could show you that he could take some dirt and he could plant some vegetables, and those vegetables grow out the ground, and now people want to consume the vegetables. So he could either trade those vegetables for meat if someone else is producing that, or for someone to paint his house or whatever. And then we just simply decide that, what's practical as a medium of exchange. That's where the value of precious metals like gold. And in this new market, we've created these cryptocurrencies, and America is printing up legal tender as a means for exchange. This creates our currency. But this right here is wealth. He's about to show us the wealth. Let me put the thing on you. That right there is wealth. Man, them things that got bigger over 24 hours. But this is why we had the great George Washington Carver come along and reinvent gardening. And now we got Black Ink continuing in the game. Tell us about it, Black Ink. What's going on here?
Okay, hold on, be strong. Oh, look at that right there. I got the onions and the collards with the eggshells to help the fertilizer with the nitrogens and the nutrients. Hold on, be strong. Let me take this off because I done gave up too much game so quick. Hold on. Okay. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
All right. I'm so tired of these niggas in the chat talking this and that, but they all just wick, wick, whack in terms of going back to nature itself. When Marcus Garvey told you we were born equal in terms of nature, it's how far we expand and extend ourselves in this competitive race called life. You dig what I'm saying? Now, if a motherfucker won't hit the link, I don't mean to be vulgar. If a Mickey Ficky won't hit the link and go Disneyland like Walt, then I'm going to come in and throw the salt, Pit. Great show. You laid the game flat. Nobody responded with that wick, wick, whack. A lot of people hit the link and show what they think. And I saw that we had people waiting in the wings to come on and bring that bling. But I just wanted to chime in once again as Black Ink, your friend, tell you what I think. The shit don't stink. But hey, we got the soap to clean up all that Chinese toilet paper. And I'm going to just clown out on that. I'm going to drop out there, but thank you. Great show. Hey, Black Becky.
Hey, speaking of soap, I got my soap. I'm ready to show my soap. What I got going on. I put a little spin on it. I'll show you what I'm working with. Hold on.
I got some soap too, but I ain't going to show it again. I had to show the garden to these fools.
Hold on, let me hit the light. Hold on.
They talking about nature and this and that. And look, Lil T, even though he can get a garden going out back, props to that. He got his soap game up. See, cleanliness is next to godliness.
That's what they say.
And I say it on purpose. I say it messed up on purpose. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Black Becky the Techie, take him out with the soap game. Pitt, thank you.
All right, let me see if I got this. You see my soap?
We see the triple butter bar with the extra wrapping. Snap.
Yeah, when I present it as a gift, or I have sold some bars, you know, when I do sell it, I just put a little extra something on it. I also wrap it in tissue paper or whatnot because it is it's high quality. So there we got, let me see what we got there. That's the triple body bar. Triple butter bar. And we got tea tree.
The tea tree and olive oil.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that one earlier. And then my mother's absolute favorite, peppermint, and it helps her with all types of things that peppermint oil helps you with. Lavender. This is how I calm myself and the babies down if it's one of those days.
Oh, man.
And then the star of the show, which nobody gets to see. That's my baby right there.
That's that bamboo.
Yes. Nobody gets that. Everybody's calling me like, hey, I'm out. I don't have any more. All I got is mine. That's it.
You're keeping a tight wrap on it.
Yeah, I got to. At least until, you know, some more comes through. From my understanding, there's some more coming through. I would love to get the children involved, the teenagers. I would love to get them involved because I don't want to use any other soap. I don't want to buy any other soap. So I'm hoping that you'll keep it going. If not, someone else will, especially with the youth, for them to understand and get back to our roots. There's a saying, and I don't know how you feel about it or what you think about it, but it says, what history that is not taught is bound to be repeated, or something to that sort, something to that effect. I can remember someone telling me that in my youth.
History forgotten is bound. Like if you forget your history, it will get repeated on you, especially if it was something bad.
Right. Well, I think that we can also, you know, I'm all about changing it around. That's why I'm Black, BLAK, which is beneficial learning is applied knowledge, benefiting from what I learned by applying the knowledge that I've obtained. So flipping that around, teaching the history will also get us back to some good times because it wasn't always bad. There were some good things. And I like when you talk about the soap, and I tell my children about the soap, the one statement you had made that I didn't even think about until after you had made it was that at one time people did not go to the store to buy soap. It would be unheard of. You'd be laughed at. You know, if you say, well, I'm going to the store to buy soap. Then what are you doing going to the store? We could just make it, you know. So I told my children about that. It helps with their self-esteem. It helps them to know, unfortunately, the children that I did have in the school system here, they weren't getting a well-rounded education to take pride in their nationality. I had asked one of my neighbors, and I live in a 99.99999% non-Black community. I had asked one of my neighbors, I said, well, if you woke up one day and didn't know your nationality, how would you feel about that? More importantly, how do you teach your children? How do you move forward? And he was perplexed. He could not answer the question. He said, you know what, Becky, I never thought about it like that. So it's important to spread the information out, even if it's something as simple as a bar of soap. My children looking at it, they see you on the YouTube or whatnot, and they're like, he made that? I'm like, he made that. And you look like a member of our family. So if you look like a member of our family, they're looking at themselves and saying, well, if he could do this or she could do this, then I could do that. So one thing that I wanted to say, Pitt, and I'm trying to tread real lightly here. My children are YouTubers. I have a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 17-year-old, and they all have subscriptions to YouTube. Where is there a channel for my children to subscribe to that I would be okay with them? I wouldn't have to say, well, wait a minute before you watch that video, or hold on a second, as it pertains to the information that is being covered in this community, so to speak. Where is that?
Well, currently it does not exist in the conscious community because the conscious community has frauded itself and they're at perpetual war. If it's not the Moors versus the Comedics, it's the Hebrews versus the Comedics, it's the atheists versus the Comedics. It's always a fight in this thing, so it's definitely not here. And that's sad to report to you. But in the whole of things, somebody will understand what you're saying and they'll back off of having a perpetual war against, you know, perspectives when they all seem to somewhat agree to a red, black, and green that they choose not to learn. And one more thing, let me add this to it, Becky, because you know, I introduced this Booker T. Washington and they act like they didn't know what I was talking about. So here in the philosophies and the opinions of Marcus Garvey, this is his segment where he narrates on Booker T. Washington's program. And he says, the world held up to the great sage of Tuskegee, Booker T. Washington, as the only leader for the race. They looked forward to him and his teachings as the leadership for all times, not calculating that the industrially educated Negro would himself evolve a new idea after having been trained by the sage of Tuskegee. The world satisfied itself to believe that succeeding Negro leaders would follow absolutely the teachings of Washington. Unfortunately, the world is having a rude awakening in that we are evolving a new idea. The new idea includes the program of Booker T. Washington and has gone much further. Things have changed wrongfully since Washington came on the scene. His visions was industrial opportunity for the Negro, but the sage of Tuskegee has passed off the stage of life and left behind a new problem, a problem that must be solved not by industrial leading only, and military leaders as well. If Washington had lived, he would have had to change his program. No leader can successfully lead this race of ours without giving interpretation of the awakening spirit of the new Negro, who does not seek industrial opportunities alone, but a political voice. The world is amazed, and the desires of the new Negro, with a strong voice, he is demanding a place in the affairs of the world. That's Marcus Garvey advancing the ideas of Booker T. Washington And as we know, he was subsided and crossed up by W.E.B. Du Bois, who then took us into a new narrative. That new narrative has led us to the conscious community today. And now the message is even destroyed further from the Garvey perspective. It went from loving God to bashing God. It went from following Christian men at the London 1900 Pan-African Conference to following Aleister Crowley of the 1900s Satanism. God damn how things have changed. So I'm sorry to report, Becky, that it's difficult to give this type of knowledge to children without the addition of the war being ensued in this so-called conscious community. But there are channels, there are places, if you kind of create playlists of the conscious community, you could excerpt certain shows into a playlist and allow them to view the ones that seemingly teach without the interruption of the naysayers who hit the links. But you know, right. All we can do is look forward to a brighter day. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, right. And that's typically what I do. I kind of cherry pick what's going on, but they subscribe, they get notifications. We're a techie family, so everybody has devices, iPads, Kindles, whatever. I just have to be leery when it comes to making us playlists and say, do not subscribe, do not hit the bell. And that is the complete opposite of the purpose of this platform. So it's just a thought that I had just sitting here thinking, like, where could I send my children where I would be okay with them to subscribe? Are people aware that there are children, young adults, the future of this country that look like us, that are watching you? They're watching you, and they're like, well, wait a minute now, hold on. You talk about confusion within a household when we're trying to get it together, we're trying to lead them and direct them in the right direction. We're going to the people who've done the studies. I'll go to someone who's 3, 4, 10 years in and at least get some type of information that I could begin to look into it to verify and then tell my children, okay, this is okay. It's okay for us to adopt this philosophy, or it's okay for us to conduct ourselves on a day-to-day basis in this manner. So just a thought that I had, just something that I want to put out there. That's all. I digress.
Now we got 19 down likes and 20 likes on a video such as this. This is the discrepancy of the conscious community. I mean, it's all good. I understand certain haters gonna hate on haters. Keep on hating on. You can't stop an idea whose time has come. It's over for your fake black power. It's over. You can try to fight it, but the word is out. Pit Boss got too many goddamn videos on his channel exposing the frauds. And that's just what it is. So you can keep down liking it. Let's see if you can catch up to the likes. We got 22 likes, and God damn it, the down likes are falling down. Y'all try to get as many down likes as you can, people. It's all good. And you know, we going hard over here. So if y'all enjoy the show and you want us to continue in the progress of what we're doing, let me show you what we're doing, because you don't believe it if you don't see it. You know, some people say that the manifestation of God ain't real. That shit made up. So let's show you what an idea manifested into reality looks like. It's the CRT Society, and this is the digital membership. When you see this box, you probably hit this black box here, or you might decide to chime out that box. And this is the site, and every day we're improving it. This is what we did in the last 24 hours. We made the narrative of the books brighter and easier to read, right? And so as you see, we blackened up everything, made things more clear for you to see. You can hit the bookstore. That's the entry page of the studio. Then when you get into the bookstore, once again, we increase the letters, make things. We got product categories over here. We've been going through those, making sure all the links work, right? And You come down here, you got the DPB Studio brands. You can join our mailing list, all of that there, right? So then you hit the start here button and the game begins. Once you have understood that, you enter into the Calculated Risk Takers Digital Society. And as you know, the benefits of joining our society is going to enable you in the advancement in knowledge of business, social, and personal growth, access to a cooperative economic community, to build a stronger social network with like-minded people. We're gladly offering you full access to download over 20 digital books per month to encourage you to optimize your purpose for the value of your time. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I believe if you hit this start the membership button right here, you'll land here. And this is where the rubber meets the road. You go no further. You got to pay to play. Now, once you get through this portion of the thing, you'll then enter into the back side of the get down. You'll be inside the get down of the get downs where we're going to get down. I'm not going to show it to you. You got to, because it ain't for you to see. If you don't join, you can just enjoy coming to the channel. And I believe we were so kind for some of you who really hate the pit boss and don't want to give him the goddamn dime. For y'all, you come right over here. And we gave you business vitality. It will cost you absolutely nothing. Not a goddamn thing. You ain't even got to come and join the game. Not a goddamn thing. You can join for absolutely free. You understand that? That's the DPB Studios. And trust me, there is more coming to you. When we see you on the side, you got a profile section. Hope you enjoy what we're building. And it's just about ready. We're moving things right along. And in a moment, I'm going to talk about, hey, come on, and then get to it. And we out of here. We're going to be over running the digital playbook action. Then we're going to bank you in the head. We got some modules for you. We're going to come in with the Black Becky Technical College coming along. Y'all can't stop us, man. You can try, but you can't stop. We got the game and we let the shit drip, drip, drop. Are you ready for the real? All right, y'all. This was a long show. I appreciate y'all chiming in. If you would like to support us, go to PayPal99lightyears@gmail.com. That's the PayPal. You can find the links in the bottom. You understand what I'm saying? You can join our Patreon page. It's a lot going on over there. We're building up. It's all kind of stuff over here. You feel me? And if you're trying to build a business, or if you have a business established, we got some marketing ideas for you inside our society. You can come check us out. It is what it is. And that's all that it is. So I wish for you better days. Keep your head up, eyes closed, eyes open. This is that real Pan-African shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? See, we didn't just start this shit. We've been here. And we've been rocking the fraternal order of the Pan-Africans in that solar system. What we do is bring the real, we speak the truth. We show by example where the brands are made in the conscious community. We're protected by the shield and we fight with a sword. It ain't that hard, y'all. Now, I haven't done this in a little while, but since we had a good vibration, you know I gotta bring it. You know I gotta bring it. So why don't you settle back? And when you speak, you should be impeccable with your words. When you speak with impeccable words, your message is clearly heard. Never make assumptions. Because when you make assumptions, you start mixing up the pot and you don't know what you got. You can get a fight with yourself when you start assuming. And please, please, when you wake up every day, get all the energy you got and always do your best. And as you know, your best ain't gonna always be good enough. But if you get back up and you keep trying, you will succeed. Trust on that. And for all you haters out there, all you naysayers, the 18 or 19 of y'all that done down like this video, those of you that don't like the truth in the booth, you hate for Pit Boss to shoot that shit at you like a verbal AK and slap the shit out you. Just remember, never take it personal. Because when you take things personal, it's up your whole perspective on life. You've been joined by Black Ink, by Black Becky the Techie, the Negroologist, DJ Ren, Fiona Echo, Lex Vortex, Lil T, the big homie Adaya. That's just a few of the guests, y'all. Pit Boss is not alone. If you can't be good, you should be good at it. If you can't be good, you should be good at it. Bet it all. DPB.